I'm not doing it. I'm done fucking airlifting her.
You'll just wipe it up later.
I'll wipe it up later.
Well, what a start for this movie. Welcome to the Wipe It Up Later podcast.
Damn it.
This is the devil's work, where we do the devil's work, and often we do have to wipe it up later.
Fucking hate
My
this
name
shit.
is Skeptik. The laughing man is my co-host PsydeShow. And this is a
Oh,
podcast where
oh my
we've
god.
we've really been doing what we say
Yeah.
lately.
Oh yeah.
We watch the most fucked up movies that we can find so
Hmm.
that you don't have to.
Yeah. Absolutely. We've been in it lately.
It's been a hard couple months. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. Looking
Yeah.
myself in the mirror is
Emotionally, this is taking a fucking toll. Absolutely.
my eyes aren't red because I just took a dab. It's because I'm in a constant state of emotional turmoil. But that's the life I
Oh
chose.
man, yeah, this is the I was gonna say like this is definitely not as it's not as intense as Irreversible was for me personally, but goddamn, it left me feeling similarly cold, man.
We're on a generational run of horrible
Yeah,
experiences in film.
yeah, yeah, for real. I know.
Which doesn't mean that these movies are bad. It's just
No,
it feels bad to watch
yeah,
them.
it's yeah. I mean, we this one we saw in person. This one we all saw together as a family.
Yes, I was in LA last week and we actually got to hang out and watch this together for better and for worse.
It was between this and Climax, and we were just like, let's. It was Amanda who made the decision. She was like, you know what, I want us all to be excited about this and like all get surprised by something. So let's just do this one because she knows that I was pitching like Climax the entire time you guys were here. But like, yeah, either way, we weren't gonna feel great after either movie.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
man, but especially this motherfucker. This was crazy, dog. This was what it like it genuinely and the funniest part about it because this is a black comedy. Before we go any further, I want to very much state that up top. This is meant to be specifically a black comedy. This is a pitch black comedy. And I will tell you, like, I started watching it like a couple of days before you were out here. I knew you were about to head up and like we were talking about like literally right before I started the movie, we were talking about your trip. And I was like, all right, like I'm gonna get stoned. I was having a particularly rough day, so I was like, I'm gonna get stoned, watch me a good movie. And I was like, I know the coffee table's been like on everybody's fucking lips lately. So I was like, let me check it out. I started watching it and not I don't even know if it was five. It could have maybe 5 minutes, right? Like 5 minutes
I
before
thought
the
you were gonna say
inciting
I don't know
incident.
if it was fight or flight.
No, yeah, absolutely both of those. But it was like 5 minutes in before when he like actually is, like picks up and is like singing with the baby, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, like maybe 10.
maybe 10 minutes in. I was 10 minutes into this movie, stopped it right before the scene that happens that kicks off the entire thing. But the entire time I was watching that 10 minutes of this movie, hilarious. I am laughing my ass off, cracking up, love the characters immediately. I was like, I love the world. It's so weird and strange, and I'm just here for it. And I was like, and then I paused it because I think we were literally texting about you coming down, and then we solidified the plans
Yeah.
that moment. And you were like, maybe you even told me you're like, maybe don't watch it, maybe no, don't finish it. We could all watch it together. I was like, all right, cool. Boy, oh boy, I was not fucking prepared for when I hit play. When were all sitting in the living room, like around the TV. I was fucking
Well, it was partially the chair that I was sitting in. Your chair is just very vertical.
yeah,
You're
yeah, it's
much better with
fucked.
not well, not really. Honestly, it's probably better for your back in the long run, is what I was
I
gonna say. Um, but yeah, the combination of the chair and the movie, I think I just stood up for like the
you
last 45 minutes of the movie.
you were pacing.
Yeah, I was just like,
And
I'm
I'm
not
over
gonna.
here cracking up at the uncomfortableness of the absurdity of it all. Like it was so, I'm telling you, it's just the most absolutely horrendous, obscene shit that
It
like
it's crazy when you're watching a movie and you literally go, okay, now if this guy just kills his entire family right now,
mhm.
I will be free of this. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
hope this guy just starts stabbing people because I need this to end.
Yeah, straight.
I
Yeah,
need to be
dude.
out of here.
We're gonna do our best right now to walk around spoilers because we are not spoiling this movie. Like it, if you can bear with us for just the like, I would say even just the beginning when we start going into the trigger warnings, just kind of bear with us to see if you want to watch this movie. Don't blame anyone for not watching it. I don't blame people
Yeah.
for it. It's a lot.
I I straight up told my mom, I was like, you are never allowed to watch this
Yeah,
movie.
it's fucked. It's fucked, dude. Like it's really, really fucked. I don't blame anybody, but yeah, we will try and like give a little bit of a sell on it. I think we have a pretty good handle on how to do that lately. I mean, it's a dark comedy in the vein. I was explaining this like it reminds me of Man Bites Dog, and we always call back to that one because of the fact that it was so pitch black, where the absurdity was just look at this horrific thing that this guy's doing, and then like right after that he's having a fucking like fish dinner, you know,
Mm.
and like fucking drinking with like people and shit. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like it was kind of like this. It was like uncut gems the entire fucking way through. Like you're just like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it's not, and it never like. Well, it does happen, but it never happens when you want it to. Like you were saying, like fucking let me go. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Pharaoh let my people go.
yeah, exactly. It's such and it well crafted too. We're gonna be talking a lot about like the composition of the shots, the way that it was filmed was actually excellent. The performances are fucking next level incredible.
Yeah, yeah, honestly. I mean, we pretty much say this about most of the movies we cover because we have good taste in movies, but everyone in this movie is acting their ass off.
Absolutely, dude.
Especially that baby.
you're, you're terrible.
I know.
It's so yeah, it's genuinely so good. And then the soundtrack, something we both caught immediately was the fucking effective use of the soundtrack in here. Super minimal,
Hmm.
extremely minimal, but when it hits, it's like it really emphasizes what's going on
Yeah,
in the
minimal but
action.
not, I would say. Minimal, like it's mostly not there, but then there's scenes where it's just like blaring.
Yeah, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's where it emphasizes everything, and like it really, really does a great job of accenting everything, and like giving everything that extra like cinematic kind of oomph. You know,
Hmm.
not whereas like the dread and that you feel is kind of like inherently because of what's going on in the situation that the character is in this movie. So that's the kind of anxiety surrounding it. But when the music comes in and kind of like accents certain which that's the thing too. The dialogue in this movie, we were like every single time a clever line happened, we were just like, oh shit. It is so well written. That's the thing. This movie is impeccably written.
Yeah.
And so all of that kind of feeds into this like nightmare fucking situation that's going on. I'm so not like excited about talking about it, but
I
I am
wish
very curious about how this conversation is gonna go.
I wish I knew more about plays because
Oh yeah,
I feel
no,
like to say it's like
100%.
Shakespearean
It
is
very
like
much
too that's too generic, you
no,
know?
but
There's
it's the
something that it's
tragedy.
like.
It's the comedy and the tragedy. You know what I mean? Like it's that's that the very very standard, you know, like play structures throughout, you know, history and stuff like that's kind of what we're talking about here when we talk about this. Like it very much is a Greek tragedy or some shit playing out. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I just wish I was versed enough to like know, like draw some like crazy comparisons because I'm sure they're there.
Yeah, and
And
also like the
this would
structure
be
of it.
fucked up to. You remember when it went viral when those little kids did like Scarface?
No,
You never saw that? Oh my
no.
God. I don't even know. Like it can't I don't believe that it's like totally true, but supposedly it's like this like kindergarten or like second or third grade class put on a play and
A
the play the
production?
kids
Oh,
chose was Scarface. So
that's
like
so
you can
good.
find it on like TikTok and Instagram,
Fuck
little
yeah.
reels of him being like, I'm Tony fucking Montana, and it's just a
That's
little ass
incredible.
kid with like prop cocaine and shit. So like, I'm pretty sure someone
Uh,
just made it to go viral. I don't
yeah,
think it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
real like
Yeah.
children's play, but yeah, the children's play version of the coffee table
God,
is what I'm getting
God,
at.
dude, that's the thing. But like you're saying, exactly, it lends itself to this play structure. It's literally fucking like four people in one like setting the entire movie. It's fucking crazy. There's okay, the market, the supermarket,
Nine total, I
nine
believe.
total.
Nine total, I believe.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
You
I don't
think
even know.
about
Yeah,
the couple, the other couple, the mom, the daughter, the mom and daughter in the
I
market,
forgot about that. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, but that's what I'm
and
saying. Like,
the salesman.
yeah, 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 that's true. Yeah, it's oh yeah, 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 for sure. In the other apartment, yeah, yeah. Now that I think, yeah, she's fucking great, dude. The little girl who plays in the other apartment, she's great. This whole movie, I cannot recommend this movie to a lot of people, but if you're looking for a wild ass time, definitely go check this out. It's on Shutter right now as of this recording, and I think it came out in 22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it came out in 22, but it just is now getting like released in streaming. Yeah, yeah. So the release date is technically April 19th, 2024. So it's been out for a little bit, but it's just now making the rounds because of Shutter. And whoo, Shutter don't disappoint, man.
It's
They definitely don't disappoint.
it's so funny because most people that like you see talking about the movie,
Mhm.
they're I mean, of course they're horrified with it, but they'll also just put in a nothing about this was funny. This was not a comedy
Yeah,
whatsoever. There
that's
was no
yeah.
humor in any like I'm so you don't have a soul, dude.
Yeah, it's so, and that's the thing too. Like to call it a comedy almost doesn't feel like even accurate either. You know what I mean? Like as much of a horror as it is definitely also a comedy. But like the comedy is so situational, but the situations are so bleak.
Hmm.
It's so hard to parse that, that one out, like really, really separate the line from I'm uncomfortable and laughing and like I'm laughing because this was genuinely funny. You know?
Yeah.
It's they do a great job of that.
Yeah, that's true. It is a mixture of both there.
Yeah, they
Well,
flip they flip with tones so well.
we're putting off the inevitable here, so let's get into it.
Absolutely. Let's do the trigger warnings first though.
We've alluded, but yeah,
Yeah.
the Coffee Table, the 2022 Spanish black comedy. I would say that's
Hmm.
better than dark comedy because it ain't dark, it's
That's what
black.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Pitch black.
yeah,
This is pitch black.
yeah. Directed by Caya Casas and written by him and Cristina Borobia, which is funny because that's also the main character's name. When they say his full
Oh
name,
yeah. Yeah.
Borobia is one of his last names.
Hey, you write what you know.
Exactly. Um, yeah, this is a crazy one. I mean, the
I mean, it's
premise.
hard to give a synopsis, but
I'm a
without spoiling, you know what I mean? Like,
a
I'm
a,
really curious to hear what you say though.
a bickering couple, newly parents, bring home a coffee table, which was the object of one of their arguments,
Mhm.
and it changes their life.
That's so accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first scrolled past this, I was like, "Oh, the coffee table. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a demon in the coffee table. I get it."
Straight up, straight up. We were having this conversation as we were watching it. We were just like sitting down, like, all right, like, when's the spooky shit gonna happen? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh no. Just completely fucking sucked the fucking fun out of everything in the room. And that's the thing, man. Like that's genius writing to be able to do the tones like this, like to play with the tones and like they lean so hard into the comedy right up top. You really, really have no indicator that what's gonna happen is gonna happen. I think also if you've seen a trailer, I don't know. I think the trailer that I saw did a pretty good job of hiding the actual premise of it, which I was like pretty surprised at. And I was like, this is what like when a movie is structured around an action or like a scene in one film that's so crucial to the story, how do you really talk about the film without giving that away? We have the same problem with Companion. You know what I mean? Like, how do you talk about this film without spoiling the biggest thing about this movie? And the trailer did a pretty good job. I'll say that. Like, if you know, if you want to go check out the trailer, maybe that'll give you an indicator of what you're in for. But definitely doesn't give you all of the trigger warnings that we're about to.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do
Ugh.
you want to do it? I can rip the band-aid off if you
No,
want.
if you could do it, because I didn't prepare one.
Yeah, and infanticide. That's just the biggest trigger warning is infanticide. There's not a
Yeah.
whole lot besides that. I think there's like a little bit maybe uncomfortable toxic masculinity bullshit in there, but kind of
Yeah,
just par for the course.
there's not really I was suicide.
Oh
Um
yeah, 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 yeah.
I
Infanticide,
mean
suicide.
discussions of pedophilia, but it's not
Yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah. That
You
was
know,
strange too. Yeah,
it's a weird one to yeah, like it comes up, but it's not really in the movie. Like you'll
yeah,
understand
yeah,
when we talk about it.
yeah. It's more in terms of like almost like an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Yeah, and which sounds like we're almost diminishing it, but it's like no, it's straight up just like we would say if there was actual things going on with kids in this movie. You
Oh
know what I
man,
mean?
absolute cosmic comeuppance in this
Yeah.
film.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Some
Absolutely.
people are getting fucked for like the worst reason, but one person it's just like, oh.
Exactly. And like that's what we're talking about. Like I was dying at that at the fact that she was in the you know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
so yeah. I don't want to spoil,
All
but
that
like
horrible
yeah.
stuff was happening and I'm just laughing
Yeah,
because she's
exactly.
there.
Exactly. It's so yeah, it's so fucking fascinating. It's such an interesting film. And I will say, full right up top, full disclosure, this was supposed to be a quickie. We were like hell bent on like we're gonna watch this, record real quick over the weekend, it'll be done. That's another one. This turned into a full ass episode pretty much immediately when we were watching this movie. We were like, there's so much here. There's so much to talk about. It's crazy.
There's a lot of meat on those bones,
Oh
a lot of
yeah.
baby fat.
Oh god damn it. So yeah, if you guys can handle that, check it out. But if not, don't blame you. Pick up your feet and come along with us on this journey.
Yeah, we're riding tonight, buddies.
Yeah,
Ugh. All right, so I guess time to begin, huh?
let's do it.
So the movie starts in a dark, limbo-esque, almost like unreal space, and you kind of start to realize as things unfold that the couple, Jesus and Maria, which I feel like obviously there's something there,
Oh
in
yeah,
choosing those
yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah. Right off the bat. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he even has like long hair and a beard and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in like a furniture warehouse, but it's shot in this way where, like, kind of like I said earlier about the whole, like, oh, is there a demon in the coffee table?
Mm-hmm.
Like, shot in this way where, like, if the movie went that way, it would make sense.
It would
Like,
make total sense.
it's almost like they're like in hell making a deal,
Mm-hmm.
but you can
Mm-hmm.
see like other furniture and stuff around them, and but it's just like very dark, like
You're
almost.
right. Limbo-esque is the best way of describing this space.
And when I say coffee table, I mean this absolutely fucking abhorrent, ridiculous. It's like a plank of wood for the base, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's two. Um,
I got it. So you ever see Jonathan Davis's microphone stand from Corn?
oh Jesus,
It's literally Jonathan Davis's microphone stand.
Oh wow, that's
It's
really
just
funny.
two of them, yeah, back to back and like in gold. That's all it is.
Wow, no, you're very right.
That's
I
what I'm
just
saying. It's totally, yeah. That which I mean, fun fact. I don't know why I know this, but those were designed by Geiger.
that's
Yeah, which
crazy.
is yeah, it was pretty cool. But they don't look as cool in this movie. It's very yeah, very like gaudy, very it's just too loud.
It
It's just
reminds
too
me of like
loud.
Metropolis.
Yeah. Very much that Art Deco almost like
Thank you. I knew there was like
yeah.
a like I was thinking like I don't know why I'm thinking like Ayn Rand, so maybe I'm thinking of like BioShock or
Well,
something, you
yeah,
know.
the same Art Deco kind of style structure for like those, but yeah, Metropolis, BioShock. I would even put up like the Batman animated series, how like some of those buildings were designed
The
similar.
blimps.
Yeah, the blimps.
The blimps.
Similar design pattern for sure, but just
Yes.
very just loud and very just obnoxious. It's a very obnoxious piece.
Yeah, these gaudy airbrushed gold, nude women with their triangular pointy breasts pointed up
Hmm.
towards the sky and like their
Their
arms
hands.
extended and it's like their
Is it their
elbows.
elbows that are
Yeah.
the table? Okay, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's not their arms. Okay, it's their elbows. That's yeah, that's actually kind of cool of a design though.
I mean, kind of, but also just in terms of like what he's, you know what I mean?
It's
It's just
how
like,
he's selling it is just a lot. Yeah, it's so
yeah, you
funny.
don't
Yeah.
need that in the middle of your in the middle of
In the middle
your
of your room, yeah. Family, yeah. Heirloom. No. Let's yeah. Totally doesn't
and
belong there.
this shit is hilarious. This shit is like 7 minutes of just like he's trying to sell it to him and she's trying to get Jesus not to buy it
Yeah.
and
Well,
he's
I should point out right before this, the very beginning of this movie is her giving birth.
oh that's right
And
and what I
oh
said
god damn it. God damn it. Chad, you're gonna fuck me.
that's right. The very beginning of the movie is her screaming and pushing and giving birth and I literally knowing that we were in for the worst time of our lives I said that was me this morning.
Damn it, Chad.
I'm talking about shitting,
In case it wasn't clear.
in case you didn't know. Gentlemen poop too. Um, but yeah, I had seen online what this movie like someone
Uh,
had let a spoiler slip somewhere or something because
yeah.
I knew what was gonna happen. So like
I didn't. That's the fucking wildest thing. I think me and Amanda both went in like super blind.
even knowing didn't make any of it better. It just
No.
meant
I
when you
imagine,
guys
yeah.
had a horrible feeling because you could like tell something was gonna happen. I had a horrible feeling
Yeah.
because I knew it was gonna happen. So
Yeah.
really, it really did not change my enjoyment of the movie
That's fair. Yeah,
whatsoever.
that's
Because
fair.
it's not like a big mystery of like,
No.
you know.
No, yeah.
Um, but there's just this whole back and forth. He's like, it's unbreakable glass. It's so incredible. I love this table. The wife says, "Do you have one like it at home?" And he's like, "Well, no." And she's
But
like,
no, I can't
"Yeah,
afford it.
yeah." She's like, "Well, it's because it's a piece of shit." And he's like, "No, I just can't afford it. It's for such big dick rich boys like you. Why don't you just buy it?"
Yeah.
And the Maria is fighting him on it, and Jesus is like, "Look, you make all the decisions. You chose this, you chose that, you chose our son's name. We couldn't decide
Yeah.
on a name, so she decided she's going to name him after her grandfather, and
Hmm.
she named him Cayetano. And isn't that
Cayetano.
a ugly, horrible name for a fascist? And I think that there is a
I don't know enough
oh
about the history to know that that's a
There,
reference to something.
there's an Italian. Oh,
Gotcha.
okay. Oh well, this guy's actually anti-fascist named Gaetano
Oh, weird.
with a G.
With a
But
G, because he a
yeah,
G.
interesting. There's multiple anti-fascists named Cayetano.
Like, what the fuck is the
So he's
odds?
just stupid. So he's just stupid. That's all it's supposed to be. Gaetano Salvemini was an Italian anti-fascist.
Mhm.
And Cayetano Cordova Iturburu. I've never seen a Spanish name like that. That's
Yeah, that
like
sounds wild.
sounds Japanese.
Yeah.
He was an anti-fascist, They're both around in the 1920s and 30s. So, yeah, that's strange. I mean, I'm sure there might be another one. I don't know Spanish history or Italian
Yeah, that's
history.
what I'm saying. I don't know too much, and I'm sure there's thousands of other podcasts that you can go to find out
Yeah.
all of
I
that.
just figured after he made that remark, I figured like if I Googled Cayetano fascist, it'd be like, yeah, this fucking guy who hung all these people, you
Yeah,
know? But so right now it's seeming more like he's just an idiot and he doesn't know that.
yeah.
But he's like, yeah, it's a name for a fucking fascist. It's an ugly name. And then the guy goes, oh,
That's
my
my
name's
name.
Cayetano.
So good,
That
dude.
that shit after all the like arguing and bickering
Yeah.
and back and forth and like involving him in every step of the way, like we can't do it justice, but it's such a fucking funny scene
So
of this.
well like timed too. Like the fucking timing is so
It's
like
it's it's like
quick.
Abbott and Costello-ish.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's like it's very much that like very much who's on first or who's on third like routine. It's that quick wit that's just being thrown at you and super good. Cut like breakneck speed, but it endears me right away to like the world that they're building because I was like, "Oh, they're leaning all the way into this." And I love that. I love when they're able to like lean into the comedy,
I
you
I
know?
love I love this. Here's a few quotes from him. The glass is unbreakable, so your table will last forever. It'll be your favorite table to have a coffee or an aperitif with your loved ones, and I guarantee that this table, due to its design and standard, will change your life for the
For
better.
the better.
It will fill your home with happiness. So that's
So
where a lot of the
fuck.
humor comes from. Is everyone's just saying the opposite of what's true
It's gonna
all
happen,
the
yeah.
time. And you know that the main
Yeah.
character is just like shitting blood in his pants because of
Yeah.
what's happening. Also me this
Yeah.
morning.
Oh, God damn it.
So this is between the salesman and Maria. If you buy the table and treat it well, it will make you happy. Treat a table well. Do you think it's a dog? Objects should be treated like our loved ones. They need to be loved. Jesus, this dude's crazy, and he's a liar too. I'm not lying to you. I almost never lie to my customers. This unbreakable glass. Is it bulletproof? Nothing is unbreakable. A vase can be broken. A piece of furniture can be broken. A marriage can be broken. And he pauses when he says
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But darling, I give you my word that this glass is unbreakable. And
Yeah. And
that
it's
in Spanish is pretty sick.
yeah, quick like cuts into his mouth every single time he says it. It's so funny, dude. Like every syllable has a quick cut to it. It's so good.
God, yeah, the I can't find more of the exchanges, but it's just like such this back and forth.
It's almost like something out of fucking Matilda, dude. Like I
Mm.
swear, like that's what that scene and the
He
interaction.
does give he does give
DeVito.
yes.
Yeah. He's very much yeah, feels like a DeVito in this.
Yeah, I definitely do sense that from him. You're
Yep.
totally right. And so basically, Jesus is saying, like, look, I don't get to decide anything anymore. Our son is born. You're gonna decide everything. Woe is me. I'm so sad.
Hmm.
The plight of the cis straight hetero man.
Yeah.
Like just let me pick this table. Let me have boobies in my living room so I could feel
Yeah,
like a big
exactly. A
strong
big
man.
strong man. Exactly.
And I think she walks away. Yeah, she walks away and she's like, I don't care anymore, which is, fellas, that's code for just don't get it. Just letting you know. Just letting you guys out there know. That's
That-
code for just leave.
that's
Um,
code.
for real.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and he's like, fuck it, we're gonna do this. We ball.
We
I'm
ball.
gonna write the check. Let's go do the paperwork. And then he goes, hey, let me ask you though, for real. You like the table? And he pauses and he just goes, no, let's go to the office and do the paperwork.
It's so good. It's so fucking good, dude. I'm telling, and they're like, that's what I mean, dude. The performances are so well done. Like, he is scummy, but like, he is born to play scummy. That motherfucker is excellent in this role. He's like doing such a great sales pitch on this guy, and like, he knows he's playing him like a fucking fiddle, but like,
Yeah.
he leans into it. It's so well done, dude. And like, Jesus, when you get into it, man. Yeah, you do like you go through an array of feelings for all of the characters involved, which is such good writing, man. Such good writing. I feel like you feel different things for him at different points of this movie. Although, like ultimately, we know how we feel. Spoilers. No spoilers for how we're gonna go forward. But generally, like you do feel different things for these characters, and like even Mary as we go, or Maria as we go in forward, we're gonna feel different things for her.
Yeah, what the your initial impressions don't always hold true.
Yeah, which is so fascinating.
So it's kind of like yeah, Maria is, sort of a battle axe, that
She
kind of
feels
like
overbearing at times.
exactly.
Yeah.
But when you also like from that first scene, you get a pretty decent sense of like how he carries himself in the relationship.
Hmm.
And so you're kind of like, yeah, I would get I would have a hard time too dealing with a fucking emotional toddler.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. She just had another kid, and she's got to already deal with this other grown ass one. Yeah.
Yeah, and the constant fucking running joke. I've heard that before about real relationships.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's always said with like a ha ha, but it's just like no, you got to do better.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, so he buys the table, and we cut to him carrying the table so
God.
laboriously in the
Th-
box
this
up.
fucking shot, dude.
Yeah, these crazy narrow ass spiral on like the edge of this stairwell, like
So
staircase.
narrow too. It's so narrow. Like he's like you could see there's indents on the box where he's like turned the corners and shit. Like it's really, but man, the way they fucking shot that, man, that shit was immediately, like I pointed out, I was like, dude, this shot rips, man. For some reason, the composition for a lot of these going forward, and now like I'll try to point them out as they go along, but this shot in particular was the one I was like, oh, whoever did the cinematography fucking means business in this movie, and I love it.
It's like the middle, the void of the stairwell is in the center, and so it just
Yeah,
creates this like,
weird spiral.
well, it almost kind of makes your like uh I can't think of what it's called. You're like invasive thoughts,
Oh yeah, 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 for
when you,
sure, for sure, yeah.
it's you kind of like that temptation of like,
Mm-hmm.
well, why not just throw it down this thing?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, and that's good foreshadowing for later too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Because there was another scene where I thought it was going to come to fruition. That those invasive thoughts. That's not
yeah.
I don't think that's the term I'm looking for, but good enough. Uh,
Intrusive?
that's the one.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he labors to get it up the stairs, and Maria's in front of him, like waiting by the doorway with Cayetanin, as they'll start to call the little guy.
Yeah.
And as he gets up there, his neighbor, a 13-year-old girl named Ruth, and her mom, who I don't remember.
I don't remember the mom's name.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever got the mom's name.
Yeah, yeah. If it did happen, it was quick. It was too quick.
Yeah, so the mom's talking to them about like grown-up things, and then the daughter's there with the dog, and she just looks like a little, you know, typical 13-year-old girl rebelling, doesn't want to talk to her mom, doesn't want to do stuff. And the mom's like, "Oh, this one, she thinks she's so grown. She has a boyfriend, but it's not going well, so, now I gotta deal with this crappy attitude all the time." And she's like, "Well, I don't have a boyfriend. He's a coward. I know that he loves me and he just won't tell me." And
So
it's just
good.
like, okay,
She makes
weird.
this like piercing look over though. It's so good. Like it happens right away, which I was like, oh, they do give it away right up top. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's very strange, and
Mm-hmm.
we get an actual explanation for it a moment later when the
Mm-hmm.
mom scoots past him, and I clocked this right away, and later we get an actual explanation. But as she scoots past him, she definitely like kind of rubs her ass on him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And
Yeah.
because it's like this narrow ass hallway, and he's
Yep.
standing there with the box, like trying to get
Mm-hmm.
past. So it's just like, no, by no fault of his own.
It's wild that we're just gonna see how thirsty every single
Yeah,
character in this apartment building is for him.
the blood of Christ, you know.
That was good. That was good.
The and this bread is my body.
Absolutely.
So he Maria goes inside after their little exchange, and he pushes the box inside. And as he's going to close the door, Ruth comes up to the door and says, "When are you going to tell your wife about us?" And he's like,
That,
"Yeah, not funny. Gonna go back
yeah.
to what I was doing here.
Right
Bye."
away though, like it puts you in this weird like what the fuck? Like state of like
Yeah,
like like that's the thing. If you could throw me off in a movie and like keep me intrigued the whole way, you are making an effective fucking movie. Like this movie did that. Like I was like, what is going on there? Like why is she all up in his shit and like why is this, written this way and stuff like that? But you're 100% right. Like we're gonna see all of this kind of come to a head at the end in the best possible way.
yeah. And for like a split second, I was like, "Is this a weird joke?"
Yeah.
Because in the right circumstances, it could be, not funny, but
Yeah.
kind
Yep.
of like, "Oh yeah, you're being silly, whatever,"
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Exactly. That's why I was just like I was like on edge already from that. I was like, wait, what? And then the
Yeah.
movie kind of was just like, oh, don't worry. We've got real things to worry about.
Yeah,
This is
pretty
not one of
much.
them.
Pretty much. Um, and so he's like, "No, you're being stupid, go away." And she's like, "You tried to kiss me in the lift." And he's like, "No, you tried to kiss me, and I've told you to leave me alone because I'm a grown man with a
Yeah.
wife and now a baby, and you're a
Mhm.
child, so you need to, fuck off."
She's like, what about the texts?
And he's like, "You asked me to send you poetry that you could use for a school project. And so I did." And she's like, "Well, they're all love poems." And he's like, "That is what you asked me for." And so she has text receipts of him sending her,
Yeah.
all this
Lovey-dovey
all this
poems.
stuff. And she's like, "Look, your wife's a hag. You don't care about your son. Run away and fuck me all day."
God, it was so
And
fucking so
explicitly, that's what she
explicit,
says.
man.
I'm
It
not
was just
putting
like,
words in this
what
little
the
weirdo's
fuck?
mouth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just so like, what the fuck is going on?
That shit, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
Not even the
laugh.
most uncomfortable part of this movie.
Yeah, that's the laugh that comes out that is not like, "Oh, that's funny." It's like, "Oh God,
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like right away, you're just put in fight or flight mode with this movie. You're just like, wait, what's going on?
God."
Very, very effective, man. Very effective.
Yeah. So they get inside finally. Yeah, she's like, "You better tell her I'm gonna tell her," basically.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
he's like, "You're fucking twisted," and closes the door on her. And then they go inside. Some time passes. He has the table and everything out. He's looking. Also, the title sequence, very 2004 Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
like the
Love it.
instruction manual
Dude,
for the table.
I love it so much. I was like, this is so fun right away. It's just that's what I mean. It's that I was in the world that they were about to like put me in. I was like, already like whatever happens, happens. I'm here for it, you know?
Hmm. So now he has it open and he's looking at the physical instructions. I just want to make sure I backed up and said that. It's funny how there's like a very very thin line between that like early 2000s style and like a legit like good looking
Yeah.
one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very very IKEA. Like here's the image, here's the like and he even says something about the I think he alludes to like the Swedish
Oh, they
yeah.
they mention a few times that it is Swedish
Yeah,
design,
I was
but
gonna
but it's
say, yeah.
made in China.
Yeah. It's so weird though, these like weird little they have to include that in there, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
So he's building it while they're talking, and Maria's saying, your brother and his 18-year-old girlfriend are coming over here.
She says
I
your
always
pedo brother.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. She's like, yeah, I always knew it was a pedo or something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
which is mad uncomfortable after what just happened.
Exactly. That's why I was like, where is this fucking movie going?
Yeah. So weird. So
Yeah.
fucking uncomfortable. And she's being rude about his brother and everything, and he's like, "Come on, he's my brother," blah blah blah, and she's like, "Yeah, whatever. What should we do for lunch?" And he's like, "Well, just go get some meat and just make a meal." And she's like, "Yeah, they're vegans. Remember? He's a vegan because she's a vegan because he has to do everything to fit in with his little girl." Like she's like
Hmm.
really like twisting the knife.
She's landing in thick, man.
Yeah, she's like going hard on
Yeah.
on the brother
Yeah.
Carlos, and eventually Jesus is like, "Well, get some wine and all this stuff," and she's like, "Get some wine? Like I just had a baby, like I can't drink," and he's like, "Well,
She's
I
like, I would
can."
like a little solidarity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically, he's essentially like, "Well, I can drink, so why does that matter?"
Hmm.
you know? And she's basically calls him an asshole. And she says, "Yeah, well, I'm just gonna go to the grocery store. I need some time to myself. You watch the baby. I haven't had any time to myself since we had him. And he's probably like a couple months old. He's like brand new, this
Yeah,
baby.
and I will say too, this is an interesting thing I just thought of. When in the very first scene when she's giving birth, we don't see Jesus.
Oh, that's
Like,
interesting.
yeah, we do not see him
Oh,
at all.
but she does talk about him being there later.
Does she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that it was just an interesting thing because that's why I was like, oh, okay, is this gonna be like some absentee father thing or whatever going into it when we like actually start unfolding the characters and like their wants and desires? I was like, is that where we're gonna go with this or whatever? Because he's not present in the beginning, so I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting, but I think they just wanted to start it on like just
Just a
not
very,
necessarily shocking.
I
I
was
guess
gonna say
kind of
just
shocking.
kind of a shocking, but just like right up top, an abrupt note, you know?
Abrupt is probably
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Um yeah, because they do mention it later. He contains multitudes. Jesus
Yeah,
does.
so does she though. It's so interesting, dude. It's weird. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the and even and I think too how they set up the character for the brother too. You have this idea of like he's gonna be a shitty person like right away because you're just like going off of based of what she's telling you.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what
So
I
I
mean?
I imagine him to be a huge scumbag, and then when we see him, he's like, the
Just a
whole
dude,
yeah.
just
It's
a guy.
Yeah, it's still weird, the whole, 18-year-old girlfriend thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but he's not like a big slime ball.
No, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's a very, that's what I'm saying. It's a very interestingly executed film. And like that, I just wanted to bring that up because like I just thought there was probably something to him not being there in the beginning and now him being, left alone with the baby.
hmm Yeah, I think too, just to maybe show like she doesn't have the ability to come and go.
Hmm.
And the one time she does, what happens?
Yeah. And well, that's the thing. They hadn't said, or I don't know if they bring it up later or if it's like if she says it on her way out, but this is his very first time being left alone with the baby.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
does explicitly say, and this will be your first time alone with him,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
so she leaves, and he keeps building. A lot of this movie is just very like not drawn out, but just
Yeah.
time lapsey.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say the big thing was the screw was missing
yeah.
but that happened right before she was about to leave.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so he says the screw is missing, and then he calls him. That's right, he calls him in front of her,
Mm-hmm.
which
Like a big strong man.
exactly, that's exactly what I was gonna say. And he's like, "No, I'm not coming down there. You have to come here.
Yep.
Bring the screw here. Like,
Mm-hmm.
how dare you?"
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Then he gets
eh,
off that phone call very pleased with himself.
exactly. And yeah, that's right before she leaves. And then she leaves. He's building the table for a while. He's, doing as much as he can. And then he had placed the glass pane like vertically,
Hmm.
and Kayatanine starts crying after she leaves, and he picks him up and he's like, "Come on, buddy, don't cry." And he's
Dude, like again, for not having any indicator of what the fuck was about to happen, I was just mad uncomfortable the second she walked out the door. Like I was like, "Oh, it's too quiet." And this shot in the hallway is lingering way too long.
well, that's probably how most dads feel the first time they're alone with their
For
baby.
sure,
It's like
fair enough. Yeah, fair
everything's
enough.
gonna go wrong.
Well, that's what I was talking about though. That I love that this movie plays on that fear because having talked to a lot of new fathers, over the years, you get that same fear. They a lot of them talk about this. They're like, I am terrified of this exact situation, and it was like this movie leans all the way into that, and I was like, dude, that's what horror is meant to do. Like that's the job of horror. It's to explore these like subjects that we just don't like, again, like we were just saying, intrusive thoughts and stuff like that. How many horror structures have been built off of intrusive thoughts?
Hmm.
Yeah.
God,
So, yeah,
it's
continue. This is fucking,
they just have
I'm
a
that uncomfortable.
they just have a like as soon as they come in the house. It seems like maybe to the left there's like a bathroom, and then to the right, like immediately to the left, and then to the right there's like a long hallway,
Hmm.
and then that at the end of that hallway there's another hallway that goes further to the right, and that's where the bedrooms are.
Yeah.
But that initial hallway, if you go like halfway and then turn to the left, that's where like the living room is.
Yep.
So we're seeing it from like this entry hallway, and we see him walking in and out of our view holding the baby, and then he walks out of view and stays out of view for too long, and you know that it's not good. And then suddenly, just a huge crashing sound. The crying abruptly stops,
Oh.
and you hear glass breaking.
Yeah,
And th-
just like my fucking heart. Like it's just like, oh no.
Yeah. So
Uh
basically, we didn't see it, but what must have happened is he's holding the baby by his chest, and we can see when we see the broken glass, covered in blood,
yeah.
that basically what happened is as he fell, his arm broke the glass, and because the glass was jagged and his weight was coming down, it decapitated the baby.
Mm.
So that's yeah,
Yeah.
that's everyone's greatest fear. This can happen to anyone. Walk holding a baby and you
Yeah.
and you fall and you don't turn and like
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a
it's fucking bleak, dude. Like we were just like I knew something was gonna happen. I just didn't know
I
that
already
was gonna
don't
fuck.
like holding
That's
babies.
what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I knew something was gonna happen, and both me and Amanda, like we were like laughing, and again, all of us laughing, having a great time. And then the hallway shot just happens, and all of us went fucking silent. And then it happened, and we were just like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
no!" Like, yeah, and then just the shots, the reveals to the fucking bloodstained like carpet is it's
Oh,
so effective.
same with the glass. Same with like
Dude,
the little like there's like a semicircle broken out of the glass
oh
because it's
God.
the glass doesn't shatter entirely. The glass
Yeah,
only
yeah.
breaks enough to become this dangerous because
Yeah.
if the baby had hit the glass first, it would have hurt,
Hmm.
but it would have
Been fine.
broken
Yeah, underneath.
under the stress
Hmm.
because he hit first and it became jagged. That's why this happened.
Yeah.
And earlier when they're like, when he's like, "Oh, you could do anything to this table, it won't break." It took
Yeah.
everything in my soul not to, because I knew what was
Yeah,
happening, not
dude.
go,
Yeah.
"Oh, you can fucking smack a baby against this thing."
It's so fucking terrible.
It really is, and if you knew the mental image I had when I said it, uh,
Yeah,
you'd like me
exactly.
less. Let me just say that.
Yeah, it's so
It's like a by the legs.
it's fucked up.
Cause I was like, how is a coffee
Uh,
table gonna kill a bit? Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought he was gonna like,
Yeah, that's
like slippery kid, like whoop, and
yeah,
he's
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah. But dude,
uh
that's I didn't know. Like we were saying, it could have been a demon in the table. Like we were talking about, like that's where my head was going with this. I thought we were getting to, I was like, oh, okay, haunted shit is gonna
You're
happen
like,
now that
oh,
he's alone
the table's gonna like threaten the baby, but
with.
then they're gonna save the baby at the end because no bad things don't happen to babies.
That's what I mean. It's so, yeah, and well, that is an interesting thing too, because yeah, the most sacred thing in a film or in the world generally is a baby. It's a child. It's
Y-
like the thing
y-
you want to protect the most.
You know the irony that Caya Casas understands what it's like to be God more than anyone else because he went out of his way to make a horrible thing happen to a child for no reason. For no reason
God
at
damn
all.
it. So good.
Just like fucking
That's so
babies
true.
having cancer.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I mean. And that's like playing on that is just so evil. You know what I mean? It's just so evil to do that to an audience.
That's like the one thing that would have been worse if this movie was about like the coffee table gave him baby leukemia and they had to just like watch him waste away
Damn
for
it.
18 months.
God damn it.
Like that that's the only way this would be
Terrible.
worse.
Fuck. Yeah, you're not right. I mean, it's so bad, but like that's the thing is because it is so taboo. It's such a huge like no to go to do anything to kids. It's like to do anything to kids in
I
horror movies. It's
I'm
just like
surprised with
what?
how much they could show. I feel like
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah,
Spain's
yeah.
censorship standards are way different than the
Dude,
rest
they
of the world.
well, it wasn't even that. It was like when they cut to I thought they showed a lot, but it was like, I mean, weird, this is a horrible sentence, but you know what I mean? It was tastefully done. You know what I mean? Like
Finger
they
licking.
fuck out. I
11,
don't
11 horrors and specters.
that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, like the way that they show the shot of from underneath the chair, like the little like there's like fringe like frills that are like hanging
Yeah.
off of the
Yes,
chair
yes. Yeah, that
that
was
are
a
like
good design choice.
shadowing the actual gore of like the
Oh my
decapitated head
God.
and like just
Yeah.
showing the outline of that right behind what was going on. I was like, dude, this it's fucked up. But again, the composition on these shots were so impeccably done.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible fucking shots.
Yeah, when it shows us what's actually happening, because we don't see it. And I
Yeah.
think that was like the
It's a good
one.
choice. It's a good choice.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't think I could
I
live
couldn't
with.
bear it. Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's we don't see it, but then we just see the aftermath, and so we see him like on his knees, like not
Like
sitting up, but like on his
on
knees,
his knees, like in front
and
of the body.
yeah, and there's blood all over him. There's blood all over the table. We can see the back of his hand has just like huge gashes in it.
Yeah.
There's blood all over the
There's glass
floor.
in his hand.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
huge
shards
chunks of
in. Oh
glass.
God, dude. You saw me. I was fucking squirming when he was pulling that shit out, dude. I was mad uncomfortable. Like it was already mad uncomfortable right off the bat, but then like they went and like zoomed in on the gore. I was like, oh my God, this movie is fucking rough, dude.
Yeah, and it's all very realistic looking.
Yeah.
And he picks up his son's headless body, and he was like in like a swaddle. So they do a good job of like
Yeah.
creatively, like you're like, okay, this kid's obviously not breathing, but what the hell happened?
Hmm.
And then as he's holding the body in the swaddle, he looks forward and we get this just like weird, it honestly it took a while for me to like even
To
understand what I was
comprehend what was
looking
going
at it.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, which is exactly where he's at. But like you said, you
Yeah.
see the shadow of the head under that chair.
Dude, it's fucking bleak, dude. We
And
were we were all pretty jaw on the floor at this point, like
yeah,
squirming in our seats.
and it stays there for a good 2 or 3 minutes of him just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not like what do I do? What you know?
What have I done? Yeah, like literally those two questions firing off simultaneously in his head.
Yeah, and he picks up his son's body and takes him to his crib, and
Uh,
puts him down for nap time.
I got a fucking just shiver and pain in my chest when you said that. It's so dark, man.
It's fucked up, dude. It's very
Oh
fucked
my
up.
God.
And then he goes and I think he pulls the glass out of his hand is the
Yeah, yeah,
first
yeah,
thing
yeah,
he does. He pulls the glass
yeah,
out of his hand and I think because he wraps it up better afterwards, but he puts something on it for the moment and
yeah.
he's covered in the baby's blood and he goes upstairs to Ruth in her mother's apartment and knocks on the door and Ruth is like, "What do you want? You if you're not going to tell her about us, then I don't have anything to say to you."
Jesus Christ, you little
And
asshole.
he's like, I need cleaning products." And she's just like, "Well, you better tell her," and all this stuff. And she's just going crazy. And then the mom pops her head in and she's like, "Oh yeah, we have all that stuff. We'll get you that stuff. Ruth, go get him that stuff." And as Ruth is going to get him the bleach, I think he asked for like Clorox and bleach,
Yeah, yeah.
which I think is supposed to be he's a man, he doesn't know anything about cleaning products. Um,
Exactly.
or as we call it in the hood, Blorox.
Blora. God damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and she reveals she wants to fuck him too.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
forget
yeah.
exactly what she says, but
I do too,
oh
yeah.
yeah, she's like, I love the color pink. Every wall in my
Yeah, that's
house is a
right.
different
Yeah.
shade of it. Even the walls of my bedroom.
God damn
What
it.
about yours? And he's like, excuse me? And she's like, your favorite color. And he says, oh, red. Because they ask him what's all over him, and he
Yeah, that's
says
right.
he's
You've got red on
painting.
you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I wonder if that's a reference.
That might be, dude. Like it's so fucking dark. We gotta look for some sort of light in this fucking
Something. We must fill our dark souls with
yeah.
light. Um, Devil
So
May Cry.
fucking great, dude.
Um, and he tells them that it's paint, and they're like, "Oh, you're painting the baby's room. Wow, that's so great. Oh, it's so exciting." They kind of fill in the gaps for him because they don't want to believe that this guy would have just like killed his baby. And
Yeah, well, I think it's because it is the desire aspect is also driving it forward, where they're like just trying to please him and just trying to like
yeah,
finish his sentences for him type thing, you know.
yeah, motherfucker. And then he gets the stuff from them. He finally leaves, and I
Well, they
think
say that Ruth is supposed to be by later or later on that day for them.
yes. And before the mother shows up, she tells him like, "Tell your wife about us." And he's so desperate and so fucked up by everything. He's like, "Yeah, I will. I will. I will. Just go get me this right now."
Hmm.
And so, yeah, he kind of feeds into it without
Yeah,
like meaning to.
meaning to. Yep.
He's just so frantic and trying not to show it.
Yeah.
Also, they're Spanish from Spain,
Hmm.
and for those that don't know, there's obviously different dialects and accents in
Yep.
English.
Yep.
Hence British and Southern, and we're here on the West Coast.
Hmm.
Um,
Big difference between Baya and like a West Coast accent, such
yeah,
as ours.
exactly. And so same with Spanish, and Mexican Spanish.
Spanish, Spanish. Yep.
Yeah, Spanish.
Yep.
So the lisp. Really, at
Yep.
first, I didn't really like even feel the lisp that much, but for
Hmm.
some reason, near the middle of the movie, he just starts saying more words
Yeah,
that
yeah, with
you know,
yeah, like nosotros.
vosotros, you know,
Oh yeah, it's vosotros. Yeah, that's right.
these motherfuckers making up their own
Yeah,
bullshit.
exactly.
Not bad enough they got to make our ancestors
Yeah,
speak it, assholes.
exactly.
Um, but
And
yeah,
as someone who has that Spanish blood in me, yes, go off, King.
it's funny. My dad always said he was 100% Nicaragüense, but like as I grew up, I was like, well, you're telling me you're the one bloodline
I was
that
gonna
never,
say,
I'm like,
yeah,
what is that? What does that
exactly, yeah.
fucking mean,
They
dude?
got lucky. Yeah, the fuck.
Yeah, like that can't possibly be true. Once
Exactly.
you learn about history, you're like, that's no one's that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so probably same. Almost definitely same. He just gave
Yeah.
me enough room to doubt a little bit. But yeah, the accent, the it
Yeah,
doesn't
that
really mean anything. I just thought it
yeah.
was interesting
It just comes
hearing
in
so
it
much lisping.
yeah, yeah. It comes in thick. And also because also just because the type of Spanish that we're used to hearing over here is not that Spanish. So
Exactly.
it's a different type of Spanish.
Yeah, Duolingo is only going to get you so far.
Hmm.
Um, so he goes upstairs, he tries to clean it, and it just, sets the stain worse. He can clean some
God.
of the stuff up. He can clean the glass and the uh, table itself up.
And at
Um,
this point in the movie, we were all like, what the fuck what's his end game? What the
this,
fuck is his end game?
yeah, exactly. I was like,
Oh my
there's
God,
no getting
dude.
out. There's no coming back. Like, what are you hoping to
Yeah.
achieve here?
Oh my God.
Fucking, and I think we do finally find out what that is, and I'll tell you when we get to it.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
and this would have been the perfect time as he's like cleaning the blood off the statue for it to like drink the blood up and be like, "Oh, I bet you want your baby back, don't you?"
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm like,
the
I'm,
tits start glowing red.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm still the jury's still out on how involved the table
Yeah,
really is in all of this.
that's
It's
fair. Yeah, yeah. I think more though, like as you look at it, like as they were talking about, like an object. Like they make so much of this statement as like these things, like it's gonna make your life happier if you treat it right and this and that. I think it really is just a statement on like capitalism, you know what I mean? Like and like the how this like want and desire for the new fancy
it
things is
was what Tyler Durden was talking about.
exactly exactly
Not to cut you off, just to, it is,
exactly exactly. But it's yeah, I think that's more so the commentary is on that it's like at any cost essentially you'll have you'll get what you want, you know.
yeah, and I feel like some of the commentary as well is just like I think this is a valid thing for a movie to say.
Hmm.
I feel like there really isn't a meaning and it is just senseless,
Hmm.
and that's just what happens in life sometimes.
Exactly. Yep.
You,
It's, I mean,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like the senseless violence or like the senseless accident and stuff. You can't foresee that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
like I'm scrambling for like fucking Casas to do an interview where he's like, "Well, you see in the back of this scene, the table's actually standing there laughing at the dead baby." So
Yeah,
that's how
exactly.
that it would give more sense to it.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And that's just,
Yeah, but
real
yeah,
life.
no rhyme or reason is like exactly. I mean, I've been talking about that recently. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
life doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Life doesn't care about what you got going on that day, you know?
Yeah, and that's why people believe, and that's why people
Mm-hmm.
need that kind of stuff
Mm-hmm.
because it
Exactly.
gives structure to the structureless, and
Yeah, exactly. I think that's yeah, and I think that does feed into this conversation of the movie though too, because it is really like there's not really a sense of like preachiness on this side. There's not really a sense of like religious aspect being brought into this
yeah,
like
not at all.
at all, which I think was interesting because again, like you can easily inject a Christ figure or something like that into that, even based on even like you were saying the names and stuff like that. I think that like, but I think even that is just even me as a viewer trying to look for a rhyme or reason in this, like you were saying, like
Something to fucking get me out of here, bro.
exactly, yeah, exactly. Which I think
Like,
it's fascinating. It's a fascinating fucking film.
like when you finish, like I think horror video games are a little better of an example than even a horror movie sometimes.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you finish like a Silent Hill or like Evil Within,
Oh
and you're just
man.
like, I need someone to fucking like tell me that some of this shit meant something.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now,
That's
I
what the
don't
trophies
know.
are for.
Pretty much. You're like, what the fuck is any of this shit? And then you find the note
Yeah.
that's like, gave a gorilla chainsaw arms. Nothing can
You're
go wrong. And you're like, oh
like, all
fuck,
right, here we go.
it's that fucking guy. Jesus.
That's so fucking funny.
It's one of my favorite genres of meme is like making fun of those notes.
Love him.
Um, so he tries to clean up. It ain't really happening, but he's able to at least, make it look like a little bit less of a crime scene. And then he goes and he
Just
showers.
barely though. It is fucking brutal in there still.
Yeah. he goes and showers, and I believe it's while he's cleaning up that he gets the call from his wife, and she's like, "Oh, I'm at the store. Guess who I ran into?" And it's this woman that they've been friends with for a while, that they know.
Oh
It seemed,
yeah, this was going on while we were showing the body and everything. Like there was flashes to this
yeah,
happening in the
that's
supermarket.
right.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, after the fall, let's just call
Mhm.
it that.
Yeah, yeah. Good
After
way
the
of putting that, yeah.
Yeah, after the fall, uh, we immediately go to Maria in the grocery store,
Hmm.
which is just incredibly fucked up as a
Jarring. It's
viewer
so
to watch her
jarring.
walk around like do can't wait for my son
Yeah,
to meet his uncle. Oh,
exactly.
what a good day it's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Oh, it's
And
so fucked.
and she runs into this woman that they've been friends with for a while. The woman has a daughter who seems like she's like maybe 8 or 9 years old. So I'm not sure how they know
Friends
her.
might be a strong word for what this interaction is.
Well, she mentions that they used to hang out all the time, and she's like, "Oh, I used to laugh with him so much." But oh, it's their old neighbor.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
that's what it is.
yeah,
And she's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I used to laugh with him so much. Like he's so funny and such a kind guy. Like, you're
yeah.
so lucky to be with him." And she's like, "Oh,
I
well,
get a feeling she wanted to fuck him too.
exactly." And she's like, Maria's like, "Oh, well, he can be kind of a pain." And she's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, but he's a good guy, and he wanted that baby too, and I know, like she's filling us in more about
Oh
his
yeah, that's
character."
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was saying that's so fascinating how they give you like the inciting incident right up top, but then they like drizzle in the exposition throughout little interactions. Like,
Yeah, very similar to Irreversible, where we don't know
yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm blanking on the names of that movie right now, but we don't know anything
Pierre and
about her.
Marcus.
I can't think of the woman's name.
Oh, it was. Oh my God, he keeps saying her name too. She's in the hospital. She'd be upset with you. Oh my God, I'm terrible with it. Anyway, yes, I know who you're talking about, the main character.
Yeah, you don't know anything about her when you
I think we
first
just try
see
and
it.
push that way back in our
Yeah,
memory. Like,
irrepressible, unfortunately.
irrepressible.
That's what he should have fucking named that movie.
So good.
Look, we're getting our trauma mixed up. You're getting
Exactly.
your trauma in my peanut butter. But how we don't know anything about her when we first see her, but you still obviously feel horrible because she's a human being.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And we
Absolutely.
didn't need to know anything about the bad guy to know that he's bad.
Hmm, hmm.
And she didn't need to be good for us to feel bad. But then
Yeah.
they twist the knife even more by being like, "Look how avoidable all this
Yeah.
was. Look what a
Yep.
like pretty decent person she seems
Exactly.
like."
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, they're doing the same mechanic here where it was like just took out any aspect of this infant having a future, like ever at all, and then like let's talk about all the great possibilities that this child had ahead of it.
Yeah, yeah. Then the twisting of the knife comes from, well, even though you guys aren't totally getting along, and maybe there's a bit of sense of like the reason I don't have kids is because I don't want to lose my freedom, and I don't
Hmm,
think that that's a
hmm,
masculine thing. I think that's just a human being thing.
hmm.
Your life becomes about this person. If
Exactly.
you are a parent and your life is not 100% about your kids, you're not being a good parent.
Yeah, you're
Point
not
fucking
parenting
blank.
right. Yep.
Point fucking blank. When it happens and you do have a life in this world that you're responsible for, like if it happened and I, couldn't stop it, to put it
Hmm.
lightly, uh I would be there because you have to.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And that's why I've gone to painstaking lengths
Yeah,
to make sure that that never
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
I think it was interesting though too that they talk about this a lot. How it took her because she's obviously an older woman in this
Yeah,
film.
this is what I was going to say next too,
So
so
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. So I like how they went through out of their way to talk about address that in that aspect of it, and then also the aspect that he didn't necessarily want kids.
Yeah.
He
At
has
the
been saying that he wasn't ready.
Yeah, at the beginning he says like, you chose when we were gonna have a kid. I'm
Hmm.
not totally ready. Like, let me have my titty table.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Exactly. He wants his man cave. Yeah.
And then they reveal here, you were kind of building up to it, that she says, how long were you trying? And I don't think she says IVF outright, but the implication is
Yeah.
it's 2 years of IVF
Yeah.
for them to have this baby. And it's not like she's like ancient. They both
No,
look
no,
like they're
no.
like in their like maybe late 40s,
Yeah, 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 exactly.
but guys just have longer
Yeah,
to
exactly. She has her clock was definitely ticking and almost up, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly, which is such a weird thing.
Yeah.
You know.
It was fucked up. Yeah.
But yeah, so they mentioned that it was 2 years of IVF, which he could not have gone through without being a willing participant as well. Like you don't go through 2 years of this without like
That's
having
yeah.
any emotional stake or wanting it at all, you know?
Yeah, it's just so
And
weird how his character handles that though. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, we all make mistakes and say the wrong thing and lash out
sure,
sometimes.
sure.
Even like me and Amanda have a fantastic relationship, truly the best I've ever had in my life by
Hmm.
leaps and fucking bounds.
Hmm.
But there are times where I say something and then I'm like, "Ugh, I'm really sorry.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
it just came out. I'm an asshole. I'm really sorry.
Hmm.
You know?
You own it though. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, true.
yeah,
But I don't, and I'm not painting myself as some saint. I don't own it like immediately in that moment.
yeah.
Sometimes I'll walk away and it'll be a while later,
Growth takes time. You know,
Yeah, but just in terms of that happens, even when you love someone with all your fucking heart,
100%.
you
Yep.
still have arguments, you still have disagreements.
Yep.
So, we see this extreme but also myopic view of him before the fall, before the
Yeah.
incident,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then it starts to widen up, and so our sympathy for him goes from I would feel sorry for anyone in this situation, just like Irreversible,
Hmm.
to oh shit, on top of that, this guy actually was probably going to be a good dad, and even though they
Yeah.
argue, their relationship isn't as horrible as they made it out to be in the first,
Exactly.
10 minutes or so. Because she's saying, he's so funny, he's so nice. We used to all drink together and crack all these jokes. Like,
Hmm.
what a funny guy.
Yeah.
And then she calls him, and he despondently answers the phone,
God.
and it's the
She
old
goes in
Navy.
right after it happened, like literally, like seconds after.
Yeah, like he still has the body on the floor in front of him.
Hmm.
And when he answers the phone, the other lady goes, "Hola, papi chulo," which I've never heard it in context. I've never heard a papi chulo in context, which I thought was really fucking funny,
First for
groundbreaking.
everything, baby.
Um, and he's just like despondent, not saying
Oh
anything. She hands the
God,
phone
dude.
to Maria, and he hangs up. And they're like, "Oh, I guess the connection
Call
isn't
dropped
very
or something
good.
like that.
Like,
Yeah.
we just inherited this apartment from his grandma, so we're not used to it. I guess the phone service isn't good."
Hmm.
And so she says goodbye to the lady and calls him again. And so this is before his shower. She calls him and she's like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, what happened? Did it disconnect?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, so what's going on?" "Nothing." Okay, that seems weird, but I thought
Uh,
about it, and I can either get the fancier wine we get for guests, or I can get the cheaper stuff that you and me like. Which one should I get? And he said, "Yeah." And she's like,
Jesus Christ.
"What? Like which one? You need to make a choice."
Uh,
And he's like, "Sure." And
yeah.
she goes, "You're not really giving me an answer here. Like, I'm trying to apologize to you, because before she left, he said, 'Why don't you get wine?' And she said, 'Why don't you show me solidarity?'"
Hmm.
Uh, and she's like, "Look, I'm trying to make up to you here. Why don't you just, tell me which one you want? You and your brother are the only ones who are going to drink it. It's fine."
I
Uh,
I think this is interesting. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you out. It's just I think this is interesting here because right here, she's giving him a choice. like giving him like the option to choose what they're gonna have and stuff
Oh,
like that.
that's
Whereas,
interesting.
you
Which
know
is
what I
what he
mean?
said that he doesn't get
He
enough.
doesn't
So
get exactly.
so she's like, "Oh, maybe this is something that's driving a wedge. I need to
Yeah,
give him more of a say." So instead of just saying, "Hey, while I was there, I thought about it. Here's the wine." Yeah, you're
exactly.
totally right.
That's
And
what I
that
mean. I feel like that was very important to bring up. Sorry, because it's just like, yeah, another lending to how we start feeling different things for these characters.
Yeah, like she has more emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
Women
yeah,
stereotypically, women
yeah,
do have
yeah,
more
yeah.
emotional intelligence than men. So she's like, "Oh, I see what is bothering him. Let me try to
Hmm.
fix that." You're totally right. That's a good catch.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah.
And they end up hanging up the phone like really weirdly and awkwardly, or he hangs
Well,
up
he
on her,
hangs up,
and
and
then
she's
she
just
calls.
like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, she's like, "Did you really just fucking hang up on me?" And he's just like, "Yeah, sorry, sorry." And she's just like, "Okay, well, you're being weird. I'll be home soon."
Hmm.
And then he goes and showers and he gets out,
The
wraps
shower
his hand
is
up.
the. I will say the shower is the promotional material for the movie. So it's like the first movie poster that you see when you Google it. I think it's a great image to show, like, to not give any context for this, like that is a great image to show for this film in particular. Like when you look it up, it's such a striking little image and like doesn't give a whole lot of context at all. Like you're just watching some naked dude in the shower, but like when you have the context and you see this in the film, you're just like, oh my God.
I don't think I'm
Like,
seeing. I see the picture,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
It's the movie poster.
the poster is like the broken table
Oh, really?
reflecting him.
Really?
That's what comes up for me.
Oh,
And then
interesting.
also the Vinegar Syndrome DVD.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's just a doll's head.
yeah. Yeah. It's so fucking
Yeah,
wild.
that's really fucked up.
That's so wild, dude.
J sus.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man. But yeah, sorry, go you were saying about her and like
yeah, so he wraps his hand up with like gauze now,
oh yeah, we were back to the
and he gets out of the shower. She gets home. It's funny. It's such a like, it's a thing that, foreign old ladies do here, but that everyone does in other countries. She just has her little like trolley that she puts all her groceries in.
oh yeah. Yeah, 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 of course. That
You
shit's
know,
convenient, bro. I
yeah, it's
got
pretty
like
cool.
two of these motherfuckers,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something we just don't embrace here for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
Um, and she sees the blood and his hand and all these things, and he says, "Yeah." I forget how he explains what
He
happened.
says he tripped or something like that. I think is what he says.
I don't think he says he fell. I can't remember what he says, but he does tell her it's from him. And
Hmm.
then she looks at his hand, and he's like, "It's fine, it's fine. It just hurts." And she's like, "All that blood from your hand?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, it's just what can I say? It bled a lot."
Yeah.
And she starts laughing, this like horrific,
Oh man,
raspy,
dude.
like I saw hella people online like, get this woman in a witch movie stat.
Yeah.
This like cackling crony
Cackling, dude.
laugh.
She is fucking again laying it on thick, man. She is fucking going
She's
into
talking shit the way
him.
only a Latina can. She is rubbing his nose in it the way only a Latina woman can. That shit is hard, bro. She is like, oh, so
Oh
the
man.
unbreakable glass. Oh, so
Yeah.
your dumbass wasted your fucking money on that table. You
Yes.
dumb motherfucker. Oh my
Yes.
God. Just
Straight
like,
up. She's
and your
yeah.
dick don't work neither. Like,
Exactly. Exactly what I was gonna say.
she is on his ass. And
Yeah. It's fucked, man. You're just like, and that's the thing. You're just like, Jesus Christ. Like, if he just blurted it out right now, you'd be like, I mean, yeah, I couldn't. I'm not surprised, you know? Like, who could have foreseen that coming?
that's the fucked up thing is now for the entire rest of the movie,
Hmm.
every time there's more than 5 seconds of silence, and
Yeah.
especially when that silence lines up
Oh,
with his
yeah.
face just like
Oh, yeah.
sitting there, The whole movie, I was ready for the subtitles to pop up. I
The
killed our
the
baby.
pin, yeah, the pin was pulled and like his hand was on the fucking lever like the entire movie.
It's
Ugh.
crazy
That's what I mean. It's just uncut gems. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was a 2 hour fucking anxiety attack of a movie.
I guess, but also sort of in Uncut Gems. I mean, as foregone of a conclusion as it sort of is,
Mhm.
it wasn't enough that like I was shocked when it happened in Gems. I wasn't necessarily waiting for that. I guess
I should
I
say it's like a reverse one.
well, because
You know what I
Gems,
mean?
Gems is like the next to this. Gems is like the most anxiety ridden movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's insane how bad that movie makes you feel,
Yeah.
but I still sort of just expected him to get away with everything in the end because bad people win, you know,
Yeah, 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 fair. That's fair.
and bad people still win just in a different way,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, for sure. It's just
It's
yeah, it's just I think like the anxiety for me was like the reveal waiting to happen to everyone else. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I was just like,
yeah, totally.
when in the fuck is that shoe gonna drop, you know?
Yeah, this is like there's no like in Gems it's like okay, there's a possibility. There's ways where this works for him.
Hmm.
This is just
Hmm.
like you said for the
There ain't no exit on this
as soon as he goes
motherfucker.
and is like, "Can I have some cleaning supplies?" You're like, "Bro,
Yeah.
it's over." As soon as they see
That's
you
it.
try to
Yeah.
clean this shit
Yeah.
up, you're done for.
That's even worse. Yeah, exactly. Literally, yeah.
And then it becomes, did he premeditate this?
So yeah, well, no, well, we'll get into that later on in the end too, because there is kind of like that lingering thing where like people are talking in the crowd, and then that's kind of like making up the story, filling in the gaps. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, I
again like
think
irreversible.
yeah, exactly. Like that's I mean, and like I think in Gems in the way that I mean that like the situation he keeps making the situation progressively worse for himself. You know what I mean? Like it's really just like he keeps on he's trying to clean it. He's trying to like keep her out of the room. He's trying to do all these things like divert attention. You're just like it almost would just be better if you just said what the fuck was going on right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just fuck it's so yeah. But I
Every time
think
they're
that
face
was
to face, I was just like, he's gonna say something. He's gonna say
mm-hmm.
something. What's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen? You know? But
Yeah.
it just he holds on to it for a while.
Man. Woo. That shit is
So
rough, bro.
so she's laughing. She's like damn near crying. She's catching her breath, and then she's like, "Oh shit, I'm probably waking the baby up. Like, where is the baby?" And he's
Oh
like, "Yeah,
God.
yeah. He was really hard to get to go to sleep after you left. He started crying so much, because he missed his mom.
Mm.
But I finally got him to go to bed." And thankfully, when I think he did say he fell. Thankfully, when I fell and broke the table, it didn't wake him up.
Exactly, yeah.
So he's still asleep. Just let him sleep. And she's like, no, no, I want to go look in on him. And she goes into the room with the crib, and oh boy, and he goes in there and stops her. And I think this is what he's trying to get out of this. He says, listen, give me 2 hours. Let the baby sleep for the next
Mm-hmm.
2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy the lunch,
Yeah.
enjoy your time with me, enjoy some time away from the baby. All I'm asking you for is 2 hours.
God. That's yeah, and that makes it so much more depressing, dude. All he wants is like a last kiss.
He
Oh
knows that there's no making this better.
God.
But if
Damn.
and then I think this is also where he tells her, I love you so much. And
Yeah, dude. Yeah, this
she's
part
like,
broke my fucking
yeah.
heart. This broke my heart so hard, dude.
He just delivered it in such a way that she's like, yeah, I love you
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, I just want to make sure that you know that. And if I've ever done anything to hurt you
Or
or
if
I
I
ever,
ever do anything.
mhm, I just really pray
Ah.
that you can find it within you to forgive me.
Fuck, man. It's so fucking heartbreaking.
So that's basically what he's like, just let me have lunch with my brother. Let
Yeah.
me say my farewell to you and to
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
and then whatever
God, I didn't even
happens
consider
happens.
that. That's so fucked. God. You're exactly right though. That's exactly what he was trying to get out of this. Like,
Yeah, just give me 2 hours.
oh man,
And she's
this
like,
shit sucks to watch.
yeah,
This shit hurts, man. This is fucked.
yeah. And she
Oh,
says, okay, but I'm gonna have to breastfeed him eventually. Like that's
yeah,
probably just about as long as I can wait before I feed him.
yeah,
And he's like, okay, that's fine. And so they go out into the kitchen and they're cooking together. And he's just doing the 1,000 mile stare while she laughs her ass off and
yeah.
she's just
Straight up.
pecking at him and pecking at him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she tells him, I'm really worried about him. I'm going to go set up the monitor. And he says, no, 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 I'll do it. I'll do it. And he
Dude,
goes,
this part fucked me up, man.
yeah,
This was
this,
so fucked.
yeah, this is real bad. He sets up the monitor and you can see how weird he feels about doing it as he's doing it. He puts the monitor by the baby's crib and then he takes the other monitor out with them. And it's honestly kind of Silent Hill-esque how like some of the horror revolves around
Oh
the
yeah,
monitor now.
yeah.
And as they're continuing to cook, all of a sudden Maria goes, "What's that sound coming from the monitor?" And it's
Yeah,
like a clicking sound. And somehow she just like immediately figures out,
yeah.
oh, it's the sound of something dripping.
We were both like, How? Like, how the fuck did you get that?" But whatever, whatever.
A little bit of movie
Suspension,
magic.
yeah, suspension of disbelief, all that.
So he goes, "Oh, you know what? I know what it is. I know what it is." And
Yeah,
he goes in there, and when he goes in, we get this shot like from underneath the crib as he opens the door,
it's
and there's
so
just a big
fucked.
bloody spot on the mattress of the crib
It's just
dripping onto the
blood
floor.
dripping onto the floor, bro. It's
A lot of juice in that little guy.
oh my god, dude, it's so fucked, man. Like that again, another great shot. Great fucking shot. When that reveal happened, I was like, no way.
Yeah. Oh
It's
my
so
God.
dark.
That shit was real fucked up to see. So
Yeah,
it's soaked
absolutely.
all the way through.
And we're not even done with the most fucked up.
Yeah,
We're not
it's gonna get
even
worse and
done.
worse.
That's crazy, dude.
Um, and so they finish making the lunch and it's like some sort of like Spanish omelet is what it ends up being.
What does he say? What does he give her the excuse for it? The
Oh, it wasn't connected right.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't connected, right? Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God.
He's like, yeah, it was just some static. It wasn't connected right.
Oh man.
And then Carlos and Christina show up. And it's funny because all three of us were like, that is not an 18-year-old girl.
It's like, yeah, that woman is not 18 years old.
I guess because they wanted us to ultimately like Carlos a little bit more. And if they had cast a real 18-year-old girl,
Everyone just would have been uncomfortable.
yeah, it would have been a lot harder, but you almost kind of like lose yourself in like, oh yeah, this woman's obviously like mid 20s, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they show up and they've got presents for Cayetanin and
Hmm.
they want to go see him and they're so
God.
excited. And Jesus is just telling them, no, 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 he's just sleeping, he's just sleeping. And Christina's like, well, I love watching babies sleep. They're so adorable. Like, please, if I could
Hmm.
just go in there. And he puts his foot down and he's like, no, it took me so long to get him to go to sleep. Like, please, just let's have lunch. You can see him afterwards. It's going to be okay. He's still going to be there.
Uh,
Yeah, and
oh,
this
fuck.
is where a lot of I hope you went back and took some notes because a lot of the comedic writing comes in through these exchanges here.
Damn.
Like they have a conversation at some point during all of this where they say, "Okay, who's your like top five loved ones, dead or alive?"
Yeah, exactly.
And when he puts her
Uh,
Maria puts Cayetanin at the top of the list and says
yeah,
Jesus is number
yeah.
two. And everyone's like, yeah, that's sensible. That's how you should feel as a parent.
Hmm.
But then he puts her at the top and puts
Yeah.
Cayetanin as number two because he knows Cayetanin is dead.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
putting her feelings
Putting the
first
living
now.
first. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then Carlos says, I'm sorry, brother, but on the list of people Maria loves the most, you're only second. On the other hand, I think that on Chris's list, I'm first. No, no, don't be so sure. Oh, no? No. Then I'm second. Let's see. The first one is my mother, and Maria says, of course. Then there are my four brothers, whom I adore, and you know it. Then my father, my grandmothers and grandfathers, Carmen and Montse, who have been my best friends since I was 4 years old.
Hmm.
And I also love my uncle a lot, but you beat him, barely. And Maria says, Carlos, you're number 13. You don't even make it into the top 10.
Exactly.
And so, yeah,
Yeah,
there's just all this weird comedic stuff going on, and
yeah.
they just keep.
You really do forget for a second the fucking gore that's happening in the other room.
Yeah, yeah, it's.
Oh man.
But they keep just making these little references where they're just like, hey,
Yeah.
I know he's dying to meet his uncle.
Dude, it's yeah, it's fun. Dude, there's so that's what I'm saying. Such clever writing and such bleak writing too. It's just the darkest dead baby jokes. They're like, how clever can we get with them though?
Yeah, you know the difference between a pile of dead babies and a Corvette.
What?
I don't have a Corvette in my garage.
God damn
What a time to be alive it was.
it.
The time of dead baby jokes.
Oh my
How
God.
many dead babies does it take to paint a wall?
How many?
One if you throw it hard enough.
God damn it.
And Kayetanine is kind of supporting that hypothesis with all the juice he's got
You're a
in him.
fucking bad person.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Oh
I
my
revel in it.
God. Oh fuck. We sure as fuck are sticking to the mission statement with this motherfucker,
How
man.
did we simultaneously in the 2000s have dead baby jokes and squirrel humor?
Yeah, exactly. The
How
birth
did
of the meme.
how did
Yeah.
those two fucking coexist?
Because people are fucking animals, man.
It's true. It's true. But
Uh,
yeah, there's just a lot of back and forth and a lot of
mm,
little tiny, death of a thousand cuts for Jesus of people going, oh,
yeah.
he's dying
Yeah.
to meet me. Oh, living or dead, who
Yeah.
would you
Yeah.
say? Oh, just going off and off and off, and it's really, you
It
know,
makes the uncomfortableness just that much more so. Like it elevates everything up just ever so slightly.
yeah, yeah, it's oh my God. I forgot about this one. I just did a quick search to just see if I could find any of the jokes.
Mhm.
After he kills the baby, there's a text from his wife, and the text is an emoji of a baby
That's
and her
right.
saying, "I'll be back in about 30 minutes, idiot." And his
Hmm.
blood is covering the baby
That's
emoji,
right, dude. Oh my
and we couldn't help but
God.
laugh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It's so fucking dark. Like this movie will force a fucking laugh out of you just for the amount of obscene shit that you're just watching.
God.
It's so fucked. Yeah. So bleak.
Yeah, it's got a lot of very interesting dialogue choices. I wish
Hmm.
we just watched it all together at your house, so we weren't like
Hmm.
taking notes and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
we were all
yeah,
just kind of just taking it in, and then we had to go downstairs and fucking decompress with a joint. Three joints actually.
yeah, oh yeah, big time. One each, and then another one to share.
Exactly.
One thing we had like accidentally skipped over is after he gets the cleaning supplies from Ruth, he
Mhm.
goes back to his apartment, and the salesman shows up with the screw, and
Oh,
the
this shit happened in
salesman,
between then. I forgot. Yeah.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
salesman also tries to fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He like won't
Exactly.
let him close the door. He's like, I don't have many friends. Maybe we could spend some time together.
That's so fucking funny, man.
Literally everybody in this movie
Everybody.
wants to fuck him.
Yes, everybody.
And so throughout this whole, tense, horrific dinner, the dead baby of it all
God
uh,
damn.
is hanging over his head. And finally,
Uh,
the girls say that they're gonna get up and go look at the baby's bedroom, and it's a big misdirect because you're kind of like, oh my God, they're gonna go see the baby. We're gonna hear
but the
screams any
baby's
second.
asleep in their room.
Exactly, because
Hmm.
they're still working on the baby's bedroom,
Yeah.
which makes sense. That's what you do when you first
Hmm.
have the baby. It sleeps in your room.
Yeah, he was real calm, and I was like, "Oh, did he just like? Is this when he's just surrendering now?" And
Yeah,
then I was like,
that's what I
"Whoa,
thought.
shit!"
That's what I thought too. Is he was just
Yeah,
gonna, eat a dinner knife or something.
yeah, exactly.
Um. Oh, and when she goes to look check on the baby the first time, he's holding a knife, and so we
Oh
thought he was gonna
God,
kill her
yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
We were just like, "Yeah, is this gonna be just a massacre?" No.
Yeah. So he's sitting there. They go in the other room, and then they start like laughing, and then we see that there's this big, immaculately, complexly painted and styled room full of all of Jesus's childhood toys. There's an
Yeah,
X-Wing, there's He-Man, there's Ninja Turtles, all this stuff.
but they're all named different things because of copyright.
Uh-huh. And basically, this as well shows you that even though Jesus is saying he wasn't ready for a kid, even though
Hmm.
we as viewers are doubting, like, is he a good dad? Did he love this kid?
Yeah,
It's very clear that he does love this kid.
exactly.
All of a sudden, it becomes so much more painful to know. Like she says, he spent countless hours in here.
Hmm.
Like the rest of the house is still not done, but he got this done.
Yeah,
And you can
exactly.
see there's like different shapes painted into the wall and
Hmm.
all this stuff. It's not quite a mural, but it's like way more
But it's
intricate than
intricate. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot what he's done in that room.
Yeah, exactly. Super sweet. It's a super sweet like if none of this was going on, it's a great sentiment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
And it
exactly.
and it just makes it so much sadder, what's
Exactly.
coming.
It's much more painful.
So they finally sit down to actually eat. They were just like hanging out and talking before.
Hmm.
And when they sit down, he's drinking wine the whole time. As soon as she comes home with the
Oh
wine,
yeah,
he
he's
starts drinking.
pounding that motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, so they even make a statement about like, he's just been sitting over here drinking wine on an empty stomach.
Hmm.
And she brings out the omelet and everyone's eating. And she's like, "You're not eating, eat something." And he's like, "Yeah, sorry. I just feel faint." And they keep pointing out that he
He's
seems really
pale.
pale, he
Yep.
seems really sweaty, and he just keeps going, "Yeah, I had like a traumatic hand injury earlier, like I
Hmm.
bled a lot. That's what's going on."
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Traumatic indeed.
mhm. And when the girls go to the bedroom and they have a moment alone, Carlos tells him, "Whatever's going on, you can tell me." And he's like, "No, nothing's going on." And he's like, "Yeah, bullshit, dude. I know something is happening.
Yeah. Yep.
Just tell me what's happening and I can help you." And it just is left hanging in the air. And as they're eating, he finally starts eating, and we can see whatever he's eating is like blood pudding almost looking like there's just
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
blood, like black and red blood coming out of his mouth, and he's like trying not to throw up and he's fighting to swallow it down. And then we see that that's just the mental experience. And
Hmm.
we see he's just eating this little omelet.
Yeah.
It's a regular.
Yeah.
He's just,
That effect was so fucking good though.
oh yeah,
Oh, it's
I
so
I agree.
interesting.
And he's just going through the motions, but inside going through so much turmoil and pain.
Yeah. Spiraling.
And Carlos says, it's crazy, something about both of us expecting or something like that. And they had mentioned earlier that him and this 18-year-old have only like that they were together, broke up, and then got back together about a month ago. And
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she's like, "Well, we weren't supposed to tell anybody, but I'm pregnant with a little girl. I just got, far enough along that they can tell and all this stuff."
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Carlos is like, "Oh, it's gonna be great. I can't wait for her to be friends with her cousin
Hmm.
and all this stuff. And what do you think, Jesus? Isn't that great? And he's like, look, I'm
This shit was crazy. I was like, yo, that's
he
wild, dog.
he says something along the lines of, it's just another one in a long line of historical fuck ups for you. For
Yeah,
you,
dude.
this is a complication. For her, this is going to ruin her
Her
life.
life.
And you
Yep.
want me to be impressed that you impregnated some little 18-year-old girl.
God. Yeah, I mean, fucking, and which is so interesting because it builds out both their relationship and his character. Like it really does like fill out all of that. You're just like, oh, that's interesting, but it's a lot to throw at someone at a dinner table.
Yeah. And Jesus leaves. He realizes that all like he's just lashing out. He can't do anything else. So even these last 2 hours that he wanted, he can't even enjoy it whatsoever. How can you enjoy
Exactly.
anything?
Anything. Yep.
And he goes into the bathroom and he's sitting down and we can see the door cracked. So it was like obvious something was going to happen. But he's in the bathroom recording a suicide note telling her
Yeah.
I can't bear to see your reaction. I can't bear to live after what I've done. It was an accident. I'm so sorry. I hope you'll forgive me, but I can't live with myself and I can't live with the pain it's going to cause you.
Yeah.
So I'll be dead by the time you hear this. And Carlos opens the door and says, "Who is that for?"
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus brings him into Cayetanine's room and shows him the corpse. And Carlos tells him, "Yeah, he's like, we have to tell her,
Yeah.
but she cannot see the baby.
Yeah.
She
Exactly.
cannot she
She can't see the
cannot
body.
see the
Yeah.
body no matter what." He goes, "What can we do to make this less traumatic on her?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Fucking nothing, bro."
Literally nothing. Yeah.
And they sort of come up with a plan, and there's this beautiful shot here
Oh
where
yeah, when he sits down.
yeah, Jesus is in the
Oh
foreground sitting
man.
against the wall on the floor, and Carlos is in the background sitting on a chair higher, and it kind of gives this, it's like the angel or the devil on his shoulder.
Yeah, dude, like in a confessional almost. Like
Exactly. As
yeah, dude. Oh my God. Dude, it was like a Bong Joon-ho shot. Like I just reminds me of like the composition I've seen in like Memories of Murder and stuff like that, like of some of them on a field. But like just that composition. I was like, that's such it's so simple, it's simplistic, it's up against the bed of or where the bed would be in the room, looking towards the wall or the doorway,
Mhm.
and he's leaning up against the bed, and yeah, it's the brother in the background sitting in the chair that's up against the wall opposite of the bed,
Yeah.
and it's so effective. And I think it might also come down to like even the color grading that they used with like their shirts or whatever, like just the tone in the tones in the scene are very muted, and like I don't know why, but the colors kind of pop on where with him sitting in that chair.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. It was just like it was a lot. It's something that I had like again, like my mind automatically goes to that just at being a photographer, and like composition is such a huge thing to me. Excellently fucking composed. Excellently composed shots.
Yeah.
So masterfully done.
Yeah. Absolutely agree. It's all the cinematography is really good. There's like three or four shots that super stand out, and that's one of them.
Absolutely. Yep. Never
And
mind the last fucking frame of this movie.
oh yeah, we're getting there. We'll
Oh
be there.
yeah.
We'll be there before you know it. And so before, as they're like deciding, okay, we're gonna go out and we're gonna, explain what has happened here, Ruth shows up at the front door, and
God. And
and
as
Marie,
soon as you see her just rolling your eyes real fucking hard.
yep, and I had said at one point because when it was just him and her in the apartment, when he thought maybe he was gonna just go psycho and stab her to death, that we were like, okay, but then he has to deal with his brother coming over, and
Hmm.
then he has to deal with Ruth
Ruth.
coming. So it's
Yep.
this like this comedy of
Yeah,
errors,
exactly.
but
Yep.
really it's a tragedy of errors
Yep.
of just like there's always another shoe about to drop.
Hmm.
And so she's there with her dog, and she tells Maria, "Did your husband tell you anything? What's going on?" And she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about, but things are really fucked up right now. It's not a
Uh,
good time. I need you to
yeah.
go away." And she's like, "No, you need to talk to him." And she's like, I will about whatever the fuck you're talking about, but you need to go away. Okay, bye. The grown-ups are done talking to the babies." And she tries to close the door, and Ruth says, "Your husband kissed me in the elevator."
God, and then we just cut back to. I was
To
like, no.
Yeah, to the two guys leaving the bathroom, and or excuse me, not the bathroom, leaving the
The
bedroom
bedroom. Yeah.
and coming out to the living room, and all of a sudden Christina's at the table. The two guys are coming from the far side of the table. On the opposite side of the table is Maria and Ruth, and Maria's like, Jesus, is there something you want to tell me? And he's like, well, what are you talking about? And Ruth's like, I don't even know. There's so much dialogue going on, but there's
Yeah.
also so much
Yeah.
tension.
Yeah. I
Um,
know. I
and
was sick to my stomach already at this
and
point. I was like, fuck.
and he told Carlos that the head is under the chair.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Oh my
and
God. I
and
forgot
and
about.
so as everything's getting really tense, as everyone's yelling at each other, and
Oh.
Jesus is like Carlos is trying to keep it on track, and Jesus is trying not to lose his mind, and then the dog who's been, the leash has been let go of,
Oh my
starts sniffing around
God.
and goes under the chair, and Carlos sees him and goes for the dog, and the dog comes out of the chair holding the baby's head, and everyone sees
Mm.
it except for Maria,
Yeah.
and Carlos holds it to his chest and is keeping it away from her. And
Ugh.
she sees the dog covered in blood, and she's like, "What are you holding? What are you holding?" And he turns around, and Christina vomits.
Yeah.
Jesus is catatonic in a chair beside himself.
Yeah.
And at one point, he had gone to the balcony and looked down and confirmed, like, this is a kill
Yeah. Yeah.
yourselfable
Yeah. Yeah.
drop.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yes.
And he's Christina vomits. Ruth is screaming and starts having like a violent anxiety attack.
Mhm.
Jesus is catatonic. Carlos is just like beside himself, doesn't know what to
Holding.
do.
He's holding the head, isn't he?
Yeah. And
Ugh.
Maria takes the head from him and opens the door to the balcony and walks out. And then we get more shots of inside of the.
It's like all slow mo too, isn't it? Like it's all.
I don't think it's really slow mo, but the music is like, it's playing this like spaghetti
Dude,
western
yeah,
music.
okay, we didn't even get, yeah, dude, okay, so the whole fucking movie is riddled with this like insanely cool spaghetti western style music. Like the whole movie, it's so well done because like we were saying, there's no music when the actual fall happens. There's no music when like these like tense conversations are happening. But then like there's a scene, I think yeah, when he's like asking her like, "Hey, would I love you, just please forgive me for anything I would have done or I'm gonna do." When that's happening, there is like a small little like piece that's in the background that's like accompanying it. That's really really emphasizing the drama in the scene. Beautifully done, beautifully done. Like that the direct decision to make this spaghetti western music style in this film pushed it right over the edge for me into a masterpiece, to be completely honest. I don't know why it's such an effective use of this music.
Yeah, it's a very interesting way to implement it, and I think it's supposed to be like the irony and the dying gasps of like his,
Masculinity.
yeah, the masculinity. Like he wants to be this cowboy, gunslinger, badass,
Exactly.
cool guy,
Like we were
and
talking about as exampled in his room with the toys. They were all
mhm,
like the boys' toys. That's all like what we all grew up with essentially.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
And it's just the folly of all of this of like if and I don't think that the message is like don't be that, because it's not even that.
No. Yeah.
The message is just terrible things can happen at any time, even to good people or decent people or whatever. Tragedy and accidents don't care who. who they befall.
Yep.
It just happens.
Exactly.
And so we see her go out onto the balcony. This fucking wow 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 as
Dude.
music is playing,
Yeah, man.
and
Fucking waiting for what is it, the tumbleweed to
yeah,
roll through that motherfucker.
yeah, and we just get those good, reaction close-ups of everybody again,
Ah,
and then it comes back to the balcony, and she's gone.
beautifully done. I think that was beautifully done. I think that was just like the best way you could have handled that shot. There's
Yeah,
no
we
like
yeah, we don't need to see any
you
of the
don't need to
death
see
because we
anything.
already
Yeah.
didn't see the first one and it
Yeah.
affected us
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
much. And then we get
Oh.
the final shot of the movie or the final scene rather where police are gathered outside the apartment and there's a crowd
Hmm.
and we can see Carlos sitting in the back of one of the police cars and one of the cops says to the other like what's going on and they're like, "Well, we have a dead couple that died by suicide. They both jumped out of the off the balcony.
Yeah.
One was holding a decapitated head of their newborn baby, and we found the body upstairs in his crib."
Hmm.
And they're like, "Well, what about witnesses?" And they're like, "Well, one's a little girl who had an anxiety attack. One is a pregnant woman who I believe they said she's in the hospital after what happened, like
Yeah.
from the shock of
The
it.
shock. Yep.
And then they said, this guy, the brother, is the only real witness we have left. And he just keeps repeating the same phrase over and over.
Hmm.
And they're like, and what is that? And she says, La mesita del comedor, the
Hmm.
coffee table.
Yep.
And then the very final shot of the movie,
Bro.
it moves closer to him and we see him just mumbling it over and over. And then it kind of goes up the length of the car towards the hood. And in front of the hood of the car are the spirits of the entire family in front of the broken coffee table.
Yeah, dude. Man, it's poetic. That shit was so fucking poetic. I don't want to say what was it, Star Wars? I don't want to say those words and bring that image to people's heads, but it's yeah, like that like the ghosts looking on
Oh,
you know like
I
the
get you. I
yeah, yeah,
get
yeah,
you. It
that's what I'm
took me a
saying. Like
second. You're
yeah.
funny.
But I don't want to say that, but yeah, it dude, that was oh, it shook me to my core seeing that like the happy family portrait like oh my God, yeah, even just talking about it, man, it's fucking me up all over again. It's
And
uh
I gotta fuck you up even worse because when we watched the movie, I turned to you and I said this like halfway as a joke, but I said, "Hey, why does the coffee table have a ghost?" Because
yeah,
at
yeah, 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 straight up.
because it's the
Straight up.
ghosts of the entire family
Mm-hmm.
and the broken ghost of this coffee table,
Yep.
but the family is all whole and the coffee table is still broken.
Mm.
And I thought about it more and more because I was like, I feel like there's an importance to the fact that the
The
table
table's there.
is with them.
Yeah.
And I thought about it more and more. And what like one of the only things that the Christian God won't forgive you for is, right?
Suicide.
Yeah. My brother,
Oh,
my
wow.
brother, that's two people who died by suicide and an unbaptized baby.
Unbaptized baby. No shit. That's
They're
crazy.
all in hell living this repeatedly.
Wow, that's fucked up. No shit, limbo-esque as you were saying in the beginning. No shit, you motherfucker. That was
Yeah.
so good. That's
Yeah.
mad depressing.
And the
That's fucking mad depressing.
Casas is on record saying
Hmm.
he wants this movie to make you feel as badly as possible. He wants you to hate him when
Mm.
you watch this movie.
Hmm.
And I think that's the most logical conclusion of all of that is
Yeah.
based on the rules of Christianity,
Yeah. Yeah.
none of
Yeah.
them get to go to heaven.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Which is so much more depressing like that. Which okay, that's interesting because we were saying we couldn't find any Christian angles or anything like that, any preachy stuff, which I guess it is in there. I guess it is in there inherently with when you're talking about like, yeah, if you believe in the Christian, rules, like you said, suicide, unbaptized children, those are exactly who would be in limbo. That's exactly who would be in purgatory, you know what I mean? Like you don't get that chance to go to heaven, you don't get that chance to go like, and that is depressing, but I don't know. It's just so interesting that the movie just finds a way to like I think it is also because we have grown up in that like in the faith, we're lapsed, I think for
Hmm.
me it was Catholic Christian, but
It was
I,
Catholicism for me.
Catholicism.
I've been through catechism. I've done all the
Hmm.
sacraments and all that stuff. You
You
know what
just
I
didn't get to
mean?
the final boss.
Yeah. Well, I
There
went through the final boss. I did confirmation when I was,
you go.
I think I was 17 or 18 when I did
Oh wow.
no, I wasn't 18. Maybe I was 16 when I did confirmation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been through all of that crap. So that's the funny thing is like anytime a Christian says like, oh well, Islam is so crazy. It says like you can kill people if God says it's okay. It's like my brother, that's in the Old Testament.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
That
in the
wasn't an
Jewish part,
exclusive.
which
Yeah.
is in your part, and it's
Yeah.
in their part.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
builds, you fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That and when people will say like gay people are an abomination, my go-to is yeah, let me know what Lot's daughters did to him in the limestone
Yeah.
cavern after they escaped
Exactly.
Sodom and Gomorrah. For those who
Yeah.
don't know, they took turns date raping him because they thought God wanted their bloodline to go on.
Man, and
All the gay people, they deserve to die, but that's chill.
they say that you can't learn things on this show. And I don't know
Exactly.
who they are, but they're wrong.
So I feel like it's kind of what you were going for. Like it's
uh,
hilarious when people are like, "Well, you just don't know," and you're like, "No, I know intimately."
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it helps that we also have that like inherent kind of like rules kind of grounded into our head that that's what's going to happen because I think that the movie is more effective when you know that like, the rules of Christianity and the rules of Catholicism and stuff like that. I think it's a little more effective with that. At least that last shot for me stands out even more if you grew up in the faith.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The
but
holy fucking Bible.
yeah, exactly. But it doesn't make it preachy. It doesn't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't saying anything like this is right or wrong. It was literally just like by your own
E-
admission, this is what's supposed
Yeah,
to be happening.
it was handled in a way that felt very factual. Like it
Exactly.
didn't seem like and God's right or God's wrong for this. Kind of like I was joking earlier about like babies who die of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Like if a
Mm-hmm.
God does exist
Yep.
and babies still die of cancer,
Mm-hmm.
then God is a
Then
fucking
fuck that
horrible
guy.
tyrant, you know? Like
Then fuck
what?
that guy. Yeah, exactly. That guy's fucking weird. We don't fuck with him.
Yeah, that shit's not cool. But if we're
Exactly.
literally just going, okay, suppose this is correct,
Hmm.
this is how this would work. So I just had to think about it a little bit more and I was like, damn,
That's
I th
fascinating.
I think that is why, the coffee table has a
Coffee
ghost.
tables there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it makes sense too. I mean, okay, that's fucking. Do you want to start getting into the ratings? Because I can fucking do that right now.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, we rate out of 6 on this show. It's 6 is a perfect score. Motherfucker, this is a 7 out of 6. This motherfucker was incredible. This was hands down one of the most chilling things I've seen in a long time. The left is again so uncomfortable to get through. Such visceral imagery happening and like gave me genuinely on this feeling of unease the entire runtime. I was not okay. And I was laughing, sure, but mostly I was not okay.
Yeah.
It was fucking rough to get through. But I think the cinematography, the score, the performances, the script, the structure, the sets, the gore, the way that they filmed, all of it was phenomenal. I This has to be one of my favorite watches already of the year. And we just started this bitch. Like
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this year of movies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, perfect film, 6 out of 6. I can't say any other. We've been speaking his praises the entire time. If you can get through it, go watch this movie because it's fucking phenomenal.
It makes me think we need to do more Spanish movies on here. I'm
Oh, we're
looking.
gonna do When Evil Lurks. Yeah, we'll
This
do When Evil Lurks for sure.
this is our first actual from Spain movie. We've done Mexican movies, but we have not done a Spanish movie
The
before today.
Untamed was in Spanish. I think
The
we
Untamed
started
is
this
no,
with.
the Untamed is Mexican.
Oh, okay. Shit. No shit. Yeah. Wow. Then this is our first Spanish film.
Yeah, the Untamed was Mexican, and then this is the second Spanish language movie that we've done.
Wow. Trip out. Hey, we got to do better about that, man. Bring the brown pride
Por la
out there.
raza.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
dude. That's fucking crazy. But yeah, go off. Let them know how you felt, man.
yeah, I mean, also a 6 out of 6. I've never felt so bad watching a movie for so long. Literally, like we said at the beginning, there were points where I was like, just kill everyone.
Yeah, literally just
I was like,
unleash
just
the
murder, just murder all these people that I like, that I've grown attached to, so that I can be done. So this movie
yeah.
can fucking be
Yeah.
finished, dude. Like, I don't
Yeah.
want to live this anymore. Yeah,
Oh
it was a
man.
long drive after that to the hotel we were staying in.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Long quiet drive.
it was a lot to fucking think about.
Yeah, I will say it similarly though. You felt similar when we watched Skinamarink, and in the same exact thing, you were like, "Give me a jump scare, give me fucking
But
anything
but
to let
but
go of this."
Skinamarink like made me feel like pathetic and scared and small.
Sure,
You
sure,
know,
sure,
this
sure.
just makes me like we were leaving and we were like, we're just so much happier that we don't have children.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
You know,
100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like Skinamarink was like maybe something's wrong with what I think of as reality. This is just like reality's fucked up.
yeah. I just mean in
You
terms of
know?
like the tension, like you were just like, yeah, waiting for that release that just never
No,
came. You
no,
know?
totally, totally. But I just mean it's two different types of bad
Oh
feelings
yeah,
that it
yeah.
that it that it
Equally
leaves you
bad.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in different ways for sure. But yeah, fantastic movie. No moms are allowed to watch it. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
for
say that
sure.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
I told my mom, I was like, there's this movie called The Coffee Table.
Yeah, avoid
Don't
it at
ever
all
watch it.
costs.
And she's like, well, what's it about? And I was like, a guy drops his baby and he dies. And she was like,
And
oh my
he
God.
dies.
And I was like, yeah, don't ever watch it. I was
Yeah, and
like,
that's you could have summed this up. This could have been a 5 minute short film.
yeah, like I tried to give as little information as possible. Like I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah,
just no. Don't ever watch this movie, mom, please.
exactly.
You don't need to. My mom, she's seen all of Game of Thrones. I told her to
Wow,
watch The Wire like 2 weeks ago, and she's on like season 4 now.
nice.
Um, but when I told her to watch Breaking Bad, like episode 3, when they have Spider bike
Hmm.
locked to the
Hmm.
pole,
Yeah.
she called me and was like, I'm having an anxiety attack. Like, I don't think I can watch this show. This shit's fucked up. And I was like, if that did it for you, you're not going to be able to handle what is it, 737 down over ABQ.
That's crazy. I have no
Uh,
idea.
oh man, yeah, a plane goes down at one point in this
Oh
movie, and
shit.
it's
Okay.
directly related to the meth dealing. It's like it's so strange. But and in that one of the shots is like a teddy bear floating in a pool.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. I do remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
Yeah.
you're right. You're not gonna be able to handle
Yeah, I was
that
like, if you can't handle fucking spider bike lock to the pole,
one.
but
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 she
then
got through all of Game of Thrones. That's wild, dog. The Red
it's
Wedding included. What the fuck?
it's just more real life, I guess. I
I
don't know, but
guess so.
for
Yeah,
some reason
yeah.
she's rocking through the wire, so I don't know. It's interesting
Hey,
what
good
what
for
does and
her.
doesn't trip people up
Good for
sometimes. But I
her.
was like, coffee table, no,
Yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah.
not allowed.
Yeah, man. I mean, I only bring this up because it's in line with what we're talking about. But I made the mistake of blind watching, the Nightingale on this show, or for not even for this show. This is right when we first started the show because I was just like, what movies can we get in there? You know what I mean? And I saw the Nightingale on the blind watch with my mom,
Oh
and
boy.
yeah, first 10 minutes of that scene or first 10 minutes of that movie is just infanticide of the worst way, like horrible, horrible. And I like turned to her and like 2 minutes in, I was like, I'm genuinely so fucking sorry. It's like I can turn this off. She's like, this is a lot, Joey. I was like, I'm sorry. We
She said,
finished it out. It's a great movie, but it's a fucking yeah, it's a lot to get through. That being said, I don't know if I'm gonna put my mom through this one.
yeah, let's not. Let's
Keep the
nod and
thumbs
say
out
we
this one.
didn't.
Exactly.
So
Oh man.
I think that brings us to the end here. One piece of trivia I will give. This was shot in 10 days.
Damn. Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's an efficient ass use of your time. That's
Hmm.
super efficient, especially for the actors to be in there, like giving it all they got for this.
They do they do that thing where they say there's 10 minutes before we go back and Maria finds out, and then there's 10 minutes left in the film.
Ah, okay. Because it's literally supposed to be like mirroring the time. Yeah, okay, that's cool.
Well, just sometimes movies do that where they
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
"Oh, there's 20 minutes." And then
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you're like at home, not in the theater,
You can pause it. You're just like, hey.
"Oh shit, there is 20 minutes left."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But that's what, yeah, dude. That this movie left me cold, man. This motherfucker just. I needed a hug right after this.
The IMDb rating is 6.7 out of 10, and I feel like that's totally a function of people see a baby die in a movie and they go, "Oh, the creator of this likes baby
Hates, yeah,
time."
yeah, hates
And it's just
children. That's so stupid. Yeah, so stupid. This is a work of art, man. Like this is something that I don't think comes along very often either in this shape. You know what I mean? Like in something like this, like a black comedy like this. That's why I love black comedy because it's just absurdist humor turned all the way up. You know what I mean? Like completely, and then it dips into surrealism a lot of the time too, which is I love that. I love that about films. But whew, yeah, this one's rough, man. This one, I don't know if this is gonna be one that I ever revisit. But if someone was like down to go through it again, I'd probably be like, all right, check this shit
yeah,
out.
that's this entire genre that we do is I would never watch it alone again, but to put someone else through it? Oh,
Amen. Yeah, exactly. Immediately. It's my whole thing.
I'm like, "Oh, in a heartbeat."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. That's so funny. And then next time we'll plan out something else when we get together in person. We'll do another. We'll plan it out for like a whole episode and recording in advance because we just didn't. This all came together last minute. We just kind of had to throw something together and I think we had a great time. We used the time up efficiently when you were here. You were only here for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad. I knew I wanted to watch something. I'm glad we
Yeah.
watched this.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a whole ass episode out of it, man. But with that being said, should I give them what we're getting next week?
Yeah, and then tell them where to find us.
Hell yeah. So we are going to be kind of pulling back from horror a little bit in a weird way. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily explicitly a horror film, but I feel like it is very much in line with the films that we cover on this show. We are going to be covering. Let me make sure I get the region correct. I saw this movie. Oh my God, when did I see this? I saw this like probably during the pandemic, 2005. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. So it's three different
Oh, it's
I
an
guess
anthology.
languages. No, 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 three different languages in here because I'm trying to find the region that it takes place. I believe it takes place in France. So this is a French film by the name of 13 Zametti, I believe is how you pronounce that.
13 going on Zametti.
13 going on Zametti. That's so good. Yeah, 2006 film, directed by. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Gela, Gela
Gail
Babluani.
Gayla
Ooh,
Babluani, I would
Gela
say.
Babluani. That's a fucking name right there. Yeah, extremely tense film. Like it's an extremely tense film. Love it. It's an anxiety inducing film. Big trigger warning on the gunplay aspect of this one. But yeah, I can't recommend this movie enough. I think it's very hard to find right now. It's kind of like one of those real low. There was a an American remake I think called 13 Guns. It looks awful and I don't want to watch it. But okay, well it's billed right. I'm looking right here on Google. It says it's billed as horror and a crime film. So Mostly a crime film, though. I would say this is mostly what this is gonna be. Um, Fantastic film, black and white, hard hitting. Can't not wait to talk about this movie. Fucked me up when I first
Yeah,
watched it.
there's a 2010 remake
Hmm.
called 13. Whoa, directed by Gela Babluani.
What?
Called 13, starring 50 Cent, Mickey Rourke, and
Yep.
Jason
Jason
Statham.
Statham. Yep. It's for him to come back up on this show. I don't know why the
Oi,
fuck.
brother, I've got 13 of them things.
That's so fucking
I'm
good.
just I'm just a Zemetti, isn't it?
So fucking funny. Yeah. So go check it out. I don't know. That's interesting. We'll get into I'm gonna do a little more research and go into maybe even watch that one for the show. But yeah, fucking fantastic film. You guys can find us on Facebook at the Devil's Work Podcast. You guys can find us on Instagram at the Devil's Work Pod. TikTok, you can find us on the Devil's Work Pod. You got
Cast.
cast? Okay, I
Yeah,
was gonna
yeah.
say yeah,
Yeah.
podcast. And then I am on Twitch. You guys can find me on Twitch. I am doing a lot more like short horror movie streams too. So we're watching a lot of like stuff on YouTube. I'm like building a good playlist over there. I do some music editing. We're playing some games. It's a lot of fun. If you want to go, I call it sideshow. So come over there, check it out on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/, sideshow psy, spell it right. And our email is the devil's work podcast at gmail.com. Let us know any thoughts, comments, questions, concerns you may have for all of our health after these films. And I think that'll about do her. I think that's all
That'll
the house.
she's about done.
She's about done. We landed her in the harbor.
Look, go home, hug your loved ones tight,
Yeah.
but do it at ground level and with nothing sharp around you.
That's it. Bye, everybody.